we'll start the
show. And Mark, I almost killed Ted on Sunday. Yep.
Like with kindness?
I almost fucking killed him.
Again.
No, for serious. So
what did I do?
Okay, so my daughter calls me up, and their refrigerator. She's got a new house. The first time they tried the refrigerator water dispenser, and it starts leaking, right? And there's no disparity.
Oh, I remember this.
About my in-laws. Yeah, no disparity about my in-laws, but they're both there and couldn't find the simple thing that the shutoff valve. You know that saddle valve that everybody has that runs
the refrigerator in the basement.
Right. Okay. So she calls me up on the phone, and I got the speaker going. I've had a couple of drinks, and now she's talking to me, and the entire time she's talking to me, Ted won't shut the fuck up. Okay, and she's trying. There's a leak, and I was like, "Yeah, relax." I go, "You looking for this?" She goes, "We looked. There's nothing. We can't find it." I said, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "I'll send you a picture." And so I start to talk to Farhad and say, "Farhad, what's the name of this thing?" Because I couldn't come up with saddle valve. I couldn't come up with it. I go, "What do I call it?" And he goes, "Just call it a refrigerator," and I start typing it in. I get on the phone. Savannah calls back like 3 times. Now she calls me back, and she says, "Oh, we couldn't find this and that." I said, "Don't worry, I'm going to send you a picture." And then Ted starts in on I don't know what. I have no idea what he talks about. He's talking about getting a new refrigerator for her. She wants to shut off the water, and he won't shut the fuck up. Okay? And she's kind of in panic mode, and Ted just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
And it's on speaker because you're golfing.
On speaker.
No, I said there's
Right.
a valve in the basement because I have in the basement, like in the bathroom basement, there's like a valve like where that shuts off the hot and cold.
Oh,
Right.
there
I
is?
Right, and it
Which we were
doesn't.
talking about.
Exactly. We didn't know it was a
Right,
saddle valve.
but he's not helping because he's not telling them what to look for. And I said, I'm going to send you a picture. I know exactly what it looks like. I just needed the name of it so I could send it to Savannah so she could find it in the basement. And finally, her in-laws did, and they turned it off. It was that fast, but he just couldn't stop.
Is it called a saddle valve?
And honestly, you see you see.
Yeah.
Do you see even now?
It's not intentional.
I know, but I was, like I said, I had a couple of drinks. I was playing great. I'm starting to play poorly. I'm getting a little warm. It's really slow. And now this comes up, and he just won't stop. And honest to God, he's in the cart with me, and he walks.
I forgot
and
about
luckily,
I forgot about
and
that.
he's not next to me now, so he's 10 feet away with his club, about to hit, screaming at me while I'm on the speakerphone with Savannah to try to figure this out.
With an urgent situation.
With an urgent
trying
situation
to
because
help.
I don't know how much it's leaking, and I'm just like, I go put a bucket underneath it. I get 2 buckets, start putting buckets underneath. I will figure this out. I'll send you a picture of what you're looking for. You're going to find it. You have to every single. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh man, what if they did something weird that I don't know about? Yeah. So Ted.
So I want the listeners to picture, if you've ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I want you to picture Danny DeVito's character. Okay, now that's Ted right now. That's Ted trying to help Matt. He is Danny DeVito.
Not helping at all.
Not helping out, just with that special face, just like clueless, can't read the room, doesn't understand the situation, just that big smile on his face.
No, I did mention there's a valve downstairs in the basement.
okay.
It's on a copper line, and it's like I just called it a shutoff valve.
Right,
So I
but a
just shut
shutoff
the-
valve and a saddle valve are completely different things. And it doesn't matter because nobody in that house at that point, my daughter, her husband, and their two in-laws, or her 2 in-laws, have any idea what a shutoff valve is. I mean, you might as well just said, okay, so there's a small monkey, okay, and that monkey has symbols, okay? Now, there's no monkey, no symbols. I want you to look for something else, okay?
Find a flux capacitor.
Exactly. It's a valve. Like, what kind of valve? It's a valve, and he's screaming over and over again. It's a valve.
I wasn't screaming.
And if he was next to... Yeah, you were, because you were 10 feet away.
You're trying to get on the speakerphone is what you're doing, like what Danny DeVito's character in the Nut House in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest would do, with a smile on his face thinking you're helping.
What I said was they should have asked for a $20,000 discount on the house due to a faulty fridge. That's too late for that.
No, I mean, you can't do that. It's just that I was just, like I said, I had a couple of beers in me. I was just a little frustrated, and he just...
It was a 5-hour. What is it, like a 5-hour run?
Yeah, it ended up being a long
It was
round.
long, yeah.
It was a
5
long
hours. I golfed in 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, lucky you.
I like my family. I want to go home.
Hey, I didn't tell them to golf slow in front of me. I don't know. And honestly, I have no idea what they were doing. There are some times that I see people that take like 25 practice swings
look.
or constantly pulling balls out of their pocket like on the 15th hole.
So
and just-
what was it? A hot day, and there's people out there.
it was a hot day. It wasn't hot like today. Hot.
Well, we played yesterday, and it was 94 degrees and extremely humid
yeah, today was
in
worse.
Minnesota.
Today was way worse.
Oh, today's way worse, but it was bad. We teed off. There was nobody in front of us. There were some people out there, but they were like 9 holes ahead of us, already on the back 9 probably because they teed off earlier. One single teed off after us, and we let him play through, but we never saw another soul after him on the back 9. Not one person on the entire course.
The perfect way to play golf.
Sunday was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
We had 9 groups in front of us.
I couldn't imagine. We would not have been able to play if we had to wait to tee off.
We waited every
We
single
could. We,
shot.
we
It
would
was
not have
pretty-
been
it was
able.
pretty
That's
brutal.
how hot it was. The only saving grace was we were able to hit our shots, get in that cart and drive because there was no breeze, there's no wind,
Yeah.
there's no wind. It was just thick air, and
Yeah.
there was a couple times when you got on the green, and if you had the 3 putt, you were done. It was like roasting. It was bad. I mean, you couldn't take the greens.
So just on a side note, I just came from the Des Plaines driving range where I had some lunch/dinner, and there was a bunch of boomers sitting at the bar because they're how do I know this? How do I know what they're talking about? Because they're speaking very loudly to the one female bartender, trying to impress her, obviously. So I couldn't help but eavesdrop since
Big car, pocket full of money.
Yeah, so
and a
basically,
penis
a lot-
that
of-
just won't quit.
a lot of I've been retired since 1998. I've been playing 5 rounds of golf a
Boom,
week.
wait, are boomers older guys like us?
No, but we're like Generation X. Boomers are about in the 60s, 70s, so they're about 10 years removed from us.
So it's,
No, not 60s. They're in their 70s now.
Yeah, we're just they're obviously 10 at least.
I
10
don't know.
years
I don't
older.
know any of the. I don't know any of the names or
Well,
any of the
baby
numbers.
boomers are from the baby boom when the
Yeah.
soldiers returned from World War II.
Yeah.
So anyone born between like 1945 and like 1955 is like a boomer.
Oh,
I want you to picture a man your age, except at least 10 to 15 to 20 years older than you. That's the target market I'm talking about.
sense. Here, Mark, I want you to picture somebody who looks exactly like you. Now they're about 8 inches taller, about 100 pounds heavier, and they're black.
Once
So
again,
not you at all.
Once again, listeners, picture Danny DeVito's character, but he talks a little bit more. He talks more.
So long story short, I got so one guy. This is good. I knew this was coming. So the one guy's like, I hit my 3-wood 260, and he goes, but the bad news is I hit my driver about the same, and I almost.
He said 360.
260. He
Oh,
goes, I hit
260.
my 3-wood 260. He goes, but the bad news is my driver goes about the same distance too. So and then
there's
and then there was a lot of
And then again, really nice car, pocket full of cash,
Yeah.
penis that won't quit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
so-
you very much. All right. Speaking of penis that won't quit, we're going to do some helping today. All right. So before we get to Teddy's tip, I want to help the state senators around the great country of America.
okay,
We guys,
not Congress people, senators.
so senators, Congress people. I mean,
Senators are technically more
we
important.
could, we could be helping senators, congressmen,
Noblemen.
Congress people, whatever. But it seems like let's say elected officials around the country of America. Okay, and here's why, because this is kind of getting over the top here. We
How
can't
about just state legislators
state legislators
or federal legislators?
Well, I'm feeling like it's more state. This
Okay.
is going to be more state
okay,
focused.
that's better.
Okay?
That's better. They need more.
And they do. We can't solve all the problems. We're going to help with one big issue. Last week, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, Mike Maloney, a senator in West Virginia, got busted for masturbating in a liquor store in Glendale, West Virginia.
And that's frowned upon in West Virginia.
Even
In West
this is what
Virginia.
I found out. I did some research. Even in West Virginia,
Okay.
that's bad news.
Wow.
Yeah, which I thought I was just thinking.
Was it a
what did
Benny's?
busted mean? Like he busted something while he was masturbating? Like, oh, look at that! You got to pay for the liquor. We don't care that you were jerking
Right.
off in our liquor store. Okay. Now, in his defense, he lost his reelection bid. So his level of caring was probably, I mean, I don't know what the level of caring is in West Virginia. It's got to be even. Is that worse than Kentucky?
No.
Really? Oh man, I would have figured. Okay, I knew it. Kentucky is the bottom of the barrel. All right. So and by the way, this is what else I was thinking. If you're a regular person, not a state senator in West Virginia, there's probably a lot of masturbating going on.
What the opponent beat him with the slogan, "Matt Maloney is full of baloney," and,
Really?
and he just won. Had nothing to do with the. With
That's
the
actually pretty funny.
It had nothing to do with the masturbation.
You're
thing.
wrong.
He didn't. Go ahead.
Matt Maloney is bopping his baloney.
No,
He's riding
Matt
a baloney
Maloney
pony.
can't help you. Well, yeah, he can't help. He's too busy. Maloney, something his baloney.
Okay, so what I
You
wanted
get
to
the picture.
Yeah. So I wanted to do what I want to do is help any state legislator, male or female. This works either way, and I want to kind of go over places where you can and you cannot masturbate.
Male, female, thems and days.
Anything, anybody, whoever you are. I want to kind of go through this just to make sure you know where you can and where you cannot masturbate.
So where's the safe spaces?
Okay, so go along with me on this. Your home,
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Right now?
Not my home.
Oh,
Not my
you just
home.
said
but
your home.
If you're at your house, go ahead and just wax the
That's what
dolphin
I
all
just
day
said,
long.
your home.
Yes, come to my house. Come to my house. Wax your
Yeah,
dolphin.
just your house.
As long as you're inside
Okay, so it's okay to masturbate in your home.
in my home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to
Okay.
get-
And by the way, just so you know, your yard is part of your home, but it's not a place you can masturbate.
Okay.
Okay. Garage, fine. So in your house, in your garage, you're fine. Okay. Any place where all the doors can be closed, or most of the doors can be closed, or most
So,
of the
so
way.
can we just say private enclosed structure?
Right. Okay. Car.
Depends where you're parked.
Okay. All right. See, that's
Oh,
helping.
you're saying parked because of the,
yeah, well, you know,
So do not
Well, no,
drive
there was a thing in the 90s.
driving and jerking off.
No, well, I wouldn't call it jerking off. It was women masturbating in the cars on the LA freeway. It was a thing.
well, traffic's so bad out there. They got a
Traffic
lot,
was
they got a lot of
bad,
free
and
time.
women.
Yeah.
It was this thing
They
that
had to rub one out.
they were. It was. I mean, you guys don't remember that? It was talked about
No,
on a
I
lot of the
actually
talk
don't- I
shows. It
don't
was
remember
kind of
that.
like a joke, but it was a serious thing. Like women were masturbating in cars on the LA freeway.
But the traffic's still just as bad.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, it's always
but
been
you
bad
but
that
you
you
weren't
can't
paying as
do
much
it.
attention.
Okay.
You can't expand. You're landlocked there with the mountains and the ocean and
Yeah.
that damn Hollywood sign. You can't
So
put a road through
okay,
it.
so a car, but not moving, and not really if there's anybody around.
Actually, the exception is I'm seeing a lot of these new cyber trucks on the road. These Tesla cyber trucks. You cannot see inside those things. Like there's what the windows like. You know, it's like
Ultra
a reflective.
tinted?
Yeah, you cannot see inside at all. So I would say a cyber truck is the perfect place to rub one out.
I always
whether you're
assumed they were
driving
just
or
like
not.
Klingons driving those things. I didn't even know those were for humans.
I've seen a bunch lately. Just
Yeah,
so
a
you
lot.
know.
I've
I've
seen
seen
at
a
least-
bunch. I've seen
There's
like
one
5
by
or 6.
in our neighborhood.
We saw one by the
It's
by the
parked
by
at the
the
train all
by
the time.
Howard. We saw one in the parking spot.
It's probably the same. Yeah, someone in my neighborhood has.
Okay,
one.
so if you're going to be in your car and you're going to masturbate while you're moving, tinted windows, heavily
Yeah.
tinted windows. Yes?
Sure.
Well, I mean, let's help. Listen, if you're doing it in a liquor store, you're going to need some sort of immediate relief.
Wait,
so,
you were doing it in a liquor store?
so tint your windows in your car. It's fine. Now, I just want to point this out: not your neighbor's car or your friend's car. Don't get in someone else's car while they're in
What
the car
about one
with
of
you.
those zip cars?
What's a zip car?
Those cars you just pay to use for the day. It's like a
Like the communal car. It's kind of
kinda
like,
like
the
you know,
windows tinted.
no. They're usually not.
Then you know what? Park it in your garage,
You know
maybe.
what a zip car
Or
is? It's
find,
like
find
a-
an empty street. Yeah, find an empty street, and be careful of ring doorbells. Yeah, if you're just out on the street, okay. Office at work.
depends if you got some privacy. You can there's nobody around. You could just lock on the door like Matt Lauer.
Okay,
you know?
if you have a terror lock on the door that you can do it before to not let people out.
Panic lock.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there's options there. All right. Costco.
At closing time, or if
I know
you're,
the deals are so good. Don't you get excited sometimes when you walk into Costco?
if you're locked in for the night by accident, I guess maybe you can get away with it.
I mean,
Are these?
I'm
these
helping.
instances where something happened, or
No,
you just
I'm
telling these
trying to help.
legislators? Okay, all right. So
trying to help.
No, not in Costco.
Not in. No matter how good the deals are. What if the pants?
You're a
are like
legislator, for Christ's sake. You're talking about somebody who is.
Costco's big. There's
Yeah, I
a
know,
lot of
but
empty
we don't
space
want
in
our we
Costco.
don't want our voted elected officials.
No. Okay, so
we don't want
nowhere
our
in
elected
stores.
officials that we vote for masturbating
Wait,
in the
speaking
stores.
of which,
So if I don't vote for them, I don't give a shit if they masturbate.
Minneapolis airport bathroom. Like, remember that state representative Larry Craig from a few years ago? I guess he was trying to pick up some
Dude,
gay solicited
he was the
gay sex.
super anti-gay
Where's this
dude.
going?
Yeah.
Because I literally was just in
Yeah,
a
well, that's why we're mentioning it.
bathroom
So, yeah,
in the
so
Minnesota airport.
It was the public restroom at
Oh,
the
yeah?
Minneapolis airport.
Well, yeah, it was just there 8 hours
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you stop by?
You don't remember that? He was the guy who was railing on homosexuals and how evil it is and how wrong it was. And then he got there's some kind of little foot thing that you do.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but he got caught. He got caught like 2 or 3 times in the airport.
It's a small airport.
Did you see stall number 4 there
Yeah.
while you were at the
No.
The sexy
Thanks,
stall,
sir.
the one with all the pictures and the disco ball and stuff. Oh, it's very, very.
But I will
nice.
tell you what's you said stall number 4. What's really smart? The state's really smart, by the way. the state fair has, you know how you got the urinal. So there's this one bathroom at the state fair, and it's massive. There's like probably 30 urinals on one wall, and then stalls on the other, and sinks like a traditional big bathroom. And you know the partitions that separate the urinals, each urinal was numbered. That's how I know there was 30 urinals.
Why would they number them?
Because if something goes wrong with a specific urinal,
Oh, I thought it for something else.
you could just say, hey, urinal 30 is leaking. They know right where to go because it's a massive bathroom. So they numbered all the urinals. Or, hey,
That's clever.
the guy at urinal number 12 is masturbating.
Again.
Again, number 12.
Okay.
So they
Senator,
know right what urinal.
Senator Charles, please, listen, we're going to get you a podcast. They're going to go over it. It's going to take 5 minutes. They're going to go over it. Not at a state fair. So let's just say right now, not at a state fair. All right. Are we good? Do you think I want to help. Like, I want to be the podcast that helps people.
Schools.
Oh, terrible
Wait,
idea.
no, here's my overall question.
Unless it's a Catholic school.
Why would you even get like aroused?
It's even worse.
Why would you even get like aroused in public? And then
What? You mean like a hot-ass state fair? With all those cows?
I suppose.
Yeah. Hey, did you meet the puzzle people?
No, they weren't there.
You got ghosted.
The puzzle, what the hell was it called? It was just a
Puzzle Emporium?
No. Well, they have a bunch of different, like,
Sleepy Time puzzles?
no, it was one of those retail barns. It was not a barn, but it was a building that had, like I said, the ShamWow and
Oh
then
yeah,
they had
ShamWow.
and then they
There's
had
a lot of ShamWows for sale.
and then they had it's a store and it's called Puzzle something. I sent you the pictures of it.
Yeah.
But they had a store in there, and they were selling all Minnesota themed puzzles, which some of them were really cool. There's this really famous artist. His name escapes me, but he has a bunch of puzzles there. It was pretty. It was. They weren't there though.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think they were working at the store. I think they were just going to be hanging out there or something.
Yeah,
know.
I didn't get exactly what it was, but it was a shame. I thought you'd
Yeah.
come back with a cool story, like,
Yeah, me
like
too.
when we met Vic
Yeah.
and when you met a guy with giant arms.
But you met the guy who was an arm wrestling champ.
Jeff Dabe.
Yeah. Is he like? He's
Awesome.
like. He's like a. I think he's like one of. I've heard of him. I think.
Yeah, yeah. He's just a.
He's got like giant arms. He's got like a
Huge.
regular
It was
body.
It was like a genetic defect, but in a good
No,
way.
you know what? I mean, I follow him Instagram, and I read about him a few years ago, and he's not. He has no. So he went to a doctor. He doesn't have like giantism or any type of disease.
No, of course not.
It is truly like that's just how he was
Is his
born.
other arm the same way too? Is
Yeah,
like
both his arms
oh,
are
okay,
huge,
yeah.
yeah.
But there's another guy.
He arm wrestles. He actually arm wrestles with his left because
Yeah.
he's right-handed, but he severely injured his right hand, his right arm.
Right.
So he can't arm wrestle with his right, but he could arm wrestle. He's a
He's
normal
obviously-
guy.
yeah.
He works. He's like a heavy machine operator in Minnesota.
Obviously, of course,
very heavy.
Of course, he's in
'cause his arms
construction.
are
Yeah.
so big.
So
That makes
So
sense.
there's another guy who's actually like he's completely normal sized. He's actually smaller than that guy, but only his right arm is
I
like
saw that guy, yeah.
ginormous, and
Yeah.
like I guess he does enter professional arm wrestling
Yeah, I
contests.
saw him, yeah.
But it's almost like a bionic arm. It's like he's
Yeah,
like
he's
maybe
not-
he's maybe like
yeah.
160 pounds, and his left side is his left arm is
He's
just
not
like normal.
lying. Yeah, I seen.
But
that.
his
It's
right-
not bionic. It's
No,
that's-
but his right arm is like the
Steve
Hulk.
Austin's
Is he
bionic.
giant? Did he do that intentionally though? That guy?
No, obviously it's got to be some birth defect, but
Okay.
in a good way. But yeah, but his arm
There are
is
people
like
you can get
twice
stuff
the
done
size.
like that. I've seen people with like
No,
calves,
no,
like
I
like
think-
like 27-inch calves because they got implants into them.
No,
and stuff like that.
this is just like a genetic quirk, but in a good way,
But
so.
if anybody,
Yeah.
if anybody out there, Jeff Dabe, Dabe, he's on Instagram, and that's his. You can follow him on Instagram.
That's cool.
He's just a really cool guy. He's got a hobby farm in Minnesota, so I started following him. But obviously, if you see the photo I sent you guys,
Yeah,
the
well,
difference
it's pretty
between
wide.
my
yeah, well,
my
I'm saying
fist and
you
his-
got pretty decent sized forearms, and
Yeah,
his
but
like
his-
his is like
dude.
twice the size of yours.
three
yeah.
times
Three
the
times the
size.
size.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It's not
Yeah.
even his
It's like a
hand,
mitt.
but not.
It's like-
forget
it's
about
like
his
Incredible
forearm,
Hulk.
His
his hand.
his fist.
Yeah,
they're
just
both made of
Honestly,
fists.
it looks like the Incredible
Yeah.
Hulk arm.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, because he's standing next
but
to
not
you.
green.
Dude, I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. So we're sitting in. So it started to rain, and started to drizzle. So right before it started to rain, it looked like it was going to rain, and it was about 1:00, and we found this. It's called the International Village. So they have a concert stage, and then they've got Summit Brewing. It's got a huge beer garden, and then it's a massive market of international goods from all over the world. It's amazing. So we got in the beer garden, and there's these big, like high tops, round high tops with a huge umbrella in there. So there's a bunch of them, like 10 of them. So I'm like, hey, Kelly, grab that, table, and I'll get us some beers. So it was 4 of us, my brother and sister-in-law and my wife. So she grabbed the table, got the beers, and we're all standing there having a beer, listening to the live music. I met the guys in the band when they were done too. They were cool. And then the skies just opened up, and it was pouring. I mean, pouring rain everywhere. You could look outside. You could look out the beer garden and see everybody in the street like running, and it probably.
I thought God.
Jeff Dabe comes into this at some point. Did he
Well,
make
he
it
was,
rain?
no, he was sitting. He was there. He was there. He was in the beer garden. I'm sorry. Yes.
Did you get drunk?
No, it's an awesome story so far. But I was
He was
waiting
in the
for
beer
him.
garden
Yeah.
the whole time, like across from us. I didn't even see him till he got up, and then I was like, "Oh my God, that's Jeff Dave." And everyone's like, "Who?" I'm like, "I follow him on Instagram. I love this guy. You got to give me a picture of him." So I ran up to him like, "Jeff, do you mind if I get a picture with you?" He's like, "No." And I shook his massive hand. You know.
Did you ask him to tear a phone book? Could he like tear? I wonder if he's probably can he probably tear like a coconut in half or a phone book. You
Tear
know?
your
Coconut in half.
Yeah.
When did you ever see that?
No, I mean like a phone book. You know.
Yeah, I've seen phone book,
Or,
but
or bend
when
like a
is
frying
somebody-
pan, or bend like a frying pan.
Okay, but when did
or
anybody
anything.
tear a coconut in half?
Well,
I've never
I mean,
even
or
heard
just
of it.
or just like break it in half. You know. So
Ted's
I don't know.
head's like a coconut.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see you break a coconut with your coconut. Yeah. All right, can we get this thing rolling here?
Oh, we haven't started yet. Okay.
Oh, boy. I wonder if anybody gets tired of that. I wonder if they're like, that's it. I'm turning it off. I was just waiting for Ted to say that. All right, this is the Real Three Idiots podcast, and happy National Just Because Day. Okay, ready?
One word?
It offers
One
up
word.
an opportunity to do stuff just because. Is that the laziest and stupidest thing you've ever heard?
Somebody really gave up on.
That's
on that
a
one, yeah.
real national day.
They quit.
Just because. Why'd you punch me in the face? Just because.
But you know, there's officially like 50 different national things today. Is right.
There's a few other ones.
There's a bunch, right?
No, actually, today is a weird day. There wasn't a lot of national days.
Okay.
I got a whole thing I look up. Some days there's like
There's a
7 or 8
calendar. Do
things.
you ever see that calendar?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
I almost bought
international
that
days,
for
but
you.
today was a nothing day. This is one of the few days, even internationally, nothing occurred.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing to celebrate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the days where actually just nothing's like I said?
Today, Ted.
Yeah.
August 27th is a shit day that nothing
So you
happens.
can come up with something.
All right. We should probably get to Ted's tip. I have a poem
Good.
today because I know you do not.
I think I'm burned out on that, man.
You're burned out on poetry? It was pretty impressive.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not motivated.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're not motivated, I can get
It's
motivated.
been a busy 3 weeks, 4 weeks for me personally, and then I'm just like, and then when I think about doing it, I just don't want to do it.
No, I mean, no, you got to get. I mean, I think sometimes like I'll sit down to write stuff and do stuff for the show, and I'll just sit there and I'll be like, okay, here we go. I'm going to do this, and nothing because you just don't have that motivation. You know, nothing jumps out at you. I mean,
Uninspired. Ted.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I would.
Exactly.
You have days.
Uninspired.
You have days when you're uninspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here, let me get to our poem here. Okay, our boy Ted gives advice and tips. Some will hit, and some will miss. He gives with his heart, and he never says it like it ain't. He once tipped a guy about garage door paint. He'll get you out of trouble and sometimes in. Even Dare Abby can't guarantee a win. And now it's time for Ted to dazzle us or throw some poor sap under a bus.
Nice. You know what else rhymes with ain't?
I couldn't
Don't-
find.
don't
you know
go
what?
there.
I couldn't find a
Taint. I thought you were gonna
You
taint.
see,
No, I
you
couldn't
just did it.
find.
You just
See,
did it.
I couldn't
Taint.
find. That's what you worry about. Taint.
Okay, can we say it again?
They
Can we,
said.
can we stop
I'll
celebrating
never
it?
listen again. They said taint.
You just said it again.
Yeah, and then you know somebody's grandma's doing this. What's a taint? Grandma, I don't want.
It's
I
better
really,
if I
yeah.
show you. It's hard to explain. It's
Then-
hard
then-
to explain.
Then you make
Grandma.
her pull down her pants instead of you pulling down your pants, because that would be weird if you did that. Yeah, that'd be really weird. All right,
Never again.
Teddy, are you ready for your tip?
Yes.
All right, Ted, get me out of the doghouse. My mother-in-law moved in about 3 months ago. That part is fine. She is awesome, except for one thing. Her cooking is awful, tasteless, bland, and she really can only cook 4 things, and they suck. I've dropped hints here and there with my wife, who loves her cooking, by the way. I had enough and found a place that gives cooking lessons, ideas, and is a weekly thing that lets her meet new people because she moved 500 miles to our place. She sounds like a nice mother-in-law, really does. I gave it to her last week, and now I'm screwed. Both my wife and mother-in-law are mad as hell. How do I fix this? Barry, 36, Corpus Christi, Texas. And he adds, please make it good. I think they are contemplating poisoning me.
Did she walk 500 miles?
Oh, well, I would. I would walk 500 miles.
Wait, was that?
And I would walk 500 more.
So Barry, the first rule of thumb is when you dig yourself a hole, stop digging. Don't dig it any
Oh,
deeper.
I was going to get out and throw somebody else
Exactly.
in. That's got to be the second rule then. Okay.
Well, number one, kudos to you for having your mother-in-law live there. I think you're being politically correct where you're saying everything's good because usually when your mother-in-law moves in, unless it's some extenuating circumstances,
I would kill
someone's
myself.
going to be
There'd be
unhappy.
murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. If my
Yeah.
mother-in-law,
Yeah.
God rest her soul, if she had moved in to our house, I mean, honestly, yeah, there would have been a murder.
Because they get territorial, right? I mean, then they
You would have
basically
consulted Ted.
they take
I
over.
would- yeah. Ted, I would have been, Ted, you know, you talked a lot about poisons, but which one can I really get my hands
There's
on?
really no such thing as a passive mother-in-law. If she moves into your family and you have a family dynamic and she moves in, she basically becomes like the wife, almost like the wife without the relations part, right? So
Okay, Ted, you're
Anyway,
not making
all
this
right.
any better.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying you were already screwed by the time she moved in. So I'm just saying you had nowhere to go but downhill after that. So through no fault
No,
of your
he
own,
said
Barry.
he said it was awesome when she moved in.
He's lying. He's being politically correct. But anyway, so to the tip itself. Okay, so it seems okay. The good news is you already got everybody mad at you. The mother-in-law is mad. The wife is mad. So you don't have to worry about hurting their feelings per se. Here's what you do. Okay, she cooks 4 items. You didn't tell me what the items were. I'm going to assume it's some type of chicken, beef, fish, maybe pasta concoctions, right? I mean, that's just a standard. When I think of 4
You
items,
just covered life, Ted.
Yeah.
I mean, here, hold on. I was gonna- So you only climb ladders. I'm gonna assume they're all the different kinds of ladders. So
I assume there's a protein and a carbohydrate.
yeah, I'm gonna assume there's vegetables and some kind of starch.
So here's the thing: you don't have to send her for cooking lessons. I mean, we live in a modern society. This is 21st century. You could just YouTube some tips. Here's what you do: just buy like a Ninja air fryer or one of the Emerald air fryers, which are kind of idiot proof. Because I can't cook myself, but I know you just press a couple of buttons and maybe find out the food that since she makes the same 4 things all the time. You know what they're going to be. Just maybe take those items and season them to
Throw
your
them in the
liking.
garbage.
No, season them to your liking in advance. And then when she cooks them, just recommend, hey, could you just put this in the air fryer? It's sort of idiot proof, right? I mean, it comes out pretty good.
Well, aren't you saying then at that point? Aren't you saying like, here, I did something good to this as opposed to the shitty thing you're going to do?
No, just
now can you
no,
make
no,
this?
the way-
Don't fuck it up.
No, the way you parse it is just like, hey, I just like it this way. I appreciate your cooking, but I like my cooking a certain way. And actually, it makes it easy for her because I think it's less labor intensive to put something in an air fryer. And
You can still, Ted. You can put the greatest food in the air fryer in the world. It's still going to taste like shit if you don't do it well.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe prep the food you like in advance, or those 4 items in advance, and just say, hey, in the future, with all due respect, I kind of like it like this, and hopefully it'll just catch on. But like I said, she's already angry for some unbeknownst reason. Obviously she must be living in denial. When someone's not good at something, you tell them like in a nice way, like, hey, maybe there's some room for improvement. So it sounds like she doesn't really take constructive criticism very well,
Hold on, before you go on with
or she
this,
lives in a fantasy world.
Mark, he's literally describing what we tell him when he's golfing.
Yes.
He should be able to take construct. This is what he said the other day. I said, Ted, if you were playing tennis and I got you a tennis coach, you think he'd make you a better tennis coach? He said, yes. I said, if you were a bad cook and I got you some cooking lessons, you think you'd be a good cook? Yeah. I said, if I got you some golf lessons, you think you'd be good? He goes, well, I'd listen, but no, I wouldn't pay attention because I don't need it.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. It's exactly what you said.
I said I
What
would
did
try
you
the
say?
best I can with what I have. But golf's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of variables. It's not just one thing that
So is
I
cooking,
get it,
Ted.
but
Well, cooking's a little different. I mean, it's not really you're not comparing apples to apples.
your problem isn't your entire golf game, Ted, because you golf a lot. Your problem is decision
Just a
making.
golf swing,
Just like
decision.
decision
No.
poor decisions. Well, you can say that about life.
But you're trying to teach an old dog, new tricks.
Well, it's not even new tricks. It's just like you're actually helping her by making her job easier. Because I mean, the days of like putting something in an oven for 3-4 hours, unless it's like Christmas dinner, everything's air fryer these days. I mean, it's easy. You just pop it in, you press a button, you walk away. So it sounds like
It's all ball bearings.
It sounds like it's just the prep. It's like the prep is the issue. So I mean, you take a piece of meat, you season it the way you want, and you put it in the air fryer, and it comes out the way you want. It's sort of idiot proof. So. And then you can just microwave other stuff,
Okay,
So.
everybody ready? Let's play the game. Ted, what's the last thing you cooked?
I just actually heated up. I actually cooked some ramen noodles on the stove not too long ago. With,
So you opened up a package of ramen
ramen
noodles,
noodles.
dumped it in boiling
Boiled
water.
some water
What's the last
with
thing
the
you
seasoning.
cooked
I might have cooked an omelet way back
in
when.
19 what? 1906?
Way back when.
Yeah. So you don't cook at all. So
No.
you saying it's just that easy. Put it in an air fryer.
I've seen it.
I mean, it's
put
like
in
you
there.
giving golf tips.
Yeah,
Everything is all air fryers now.
Yeah, it's all
everything's
it's all air fryer.
It's all
Just go
air
air
fryer.
fryer. Yeah.
That's it. Like when if you go to a fancy restaurant, like a big time, like Ruth Chris, it's air fry. They're just air frying your steak. That's all they're doing. Yeah.
steak they bought at Jewel and Jewel.
Ma, did you put the MSG in? That's it. One word, MSG. Actually, 3 letters.
All right, so Teddy, help Barry out with some bottom line advice right now.
I just gave it. I mean, you guys are
That's
more.
it.
Well, you guys are more the cooking experts, so I'd like to hear what you guys have to say.
No, I think your advice by just flavoring it up or doctoring up yourself.
Well, he could do it himself, or just recommend like, hey, if you're not telling her to cook like 8 different dishes. If they're gonna be the same 4 dishes because that's her comfort zone, you're just saying, hey, I like it. This is my personal taste. Maybe you could season it yourself and then let her cook it so she can feel good about herself. And then, like I said, obviously it's either the prep is wrong, the seasoning's wrong. Like he said, it tastes bland.
Hot sauce.
Yeah,
Just
hot sauce.
Fill it up with some hot sauce.
Chili, sweet chili sauce. Everything sweet chili sauce and ghost peppers.
There you go.
There's your seasonings.
Chick-fil-A sauce. Chick-fil-A sauce. That's everything's air fryers and
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauce nowadays.
Mayonnaise, tartar sauce, Chick-fil-A sauce.
So what are you just going to
fancy-
Chick-fil-A?
fancy
Are you
sauce.
just stealing the sauce? Is that something you can just steal, or
No, you buy it in the store.
you buy it in a store?
Yeah.
Those-
like a ketchup bottle.
Those Taco
I'm
Bell
assuming it's
packets.
just filled with high fructose corn syrup, so I probably picked it up and put it down
Of course.
10 times.
those
so, yeah.
Taco Bell mild sauce packets.
Yeah.
Just get a bunch of
So there you
those.
go. Just go to your favorite fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
Whatever packets or things you can get.
Or make your own sauce.
But it seems like she's cooking.
I know, but you can put like you can make an aioli sauce with.
But, okay, but what if she's
mayo and whatever you
killing
want.
it? What
That's all.
so it seems like what he did was he said, listen, you can get out, meet some new people, and you can actually learn how to cook.
Well, that was his first
Better.
mistake by confronting
But maybe
her
he
in that
didn't
way.
say. But maybe he didn't say like learn to cook. But maybe you can learn
Improve-
to cook a few new
improve your
things
cooking
and blah blah
skills, yeah,
blah.
yeah.
And then they got mad.
Actually, Ted's right though. He did dig himself in a hole. He insulted her. It was like a triple insult. Your cooking stinks. You have no friends, and you never leave the fucking house. So here, go learn how to cook, make some friends, and get out of the house.
Well, like I said, it's not about the food.
That's what he told her.
Well, no, but I'm saying it's not about the
Go
food.
get laid.
By the time he told her that, she's already been living. She's already embedded there for 3 months, and and 3 months is going to turn into 6 months. It's going to turn into 6 years. Trust me, it's not about the cooking. He's not happy about her being there. It's not about the cooking. The cooking's a symptom
So he's a liar.
of an underlying condition.
He's a liar. Barry's a liar
no,
now.
no.
He's projecting. He's projecting.
said it.
That's
He
what
said
are
he's
we
cool
calling
with
all.
her.
Are we going to call just Barry a liar or all of our listeners?
I didn't call him a liar. Just say he's
you just-
projecting.
yeah, no, I think
The cooking part is the underlying symptom of a greater issue, which is the mother-in-law is encroached on his personal space
Well, then why wasn't he writing about that?
Yeah, why wouldn't he say I hate
Why-
my mother-in-law
yeah,
and
dear
she's a
Ted,
shitty
yeah.
cook?
because it's a cry for help. That's why,
Okay,
a cry for help.
if you see
I
it,
think he just doesn't like her cooking.
but who's
He's
the
asking you to help?
But here's the
with the hole that he dug himself.
What he's
in.
really trying to
Well,
say
you're
is
right.
what he's really trying to say is how do I get my mother-in-law to move out? That's what that's what the tip really is. How
Well,
do
he's
I
doing a
get her
good
to
job
leave?
so far. He's doing an excellent job.
Please
Yeah.
leave.
But Mark, Ted's the expert.
Yeah,
we're
right,
just
yeah.
we're just a couple of buffoons.
All right, so season it up.
Yeah,
Yeah. And move out eventually.
and all the Taco Bell packets you can possibly get. your hands
Download
on.
as many dating apps as you can on her phone, and hopefully she'll meet a guy in her own age range, and eventually.
But here, real quick, not to beat a dead horse, how does he get out of the situation he already put himself in? How does he get him out of the situation he just put himself in by sending her to that cooking school?
No, you don't send her to cooking
he already
school.
did.
He already did.
He already
Oh,
did.
yeah.
That's why he's in trouble.
Right.
Yes.
He insulted. They're both mad
Right.
at,
So they're already
him.
mad at him. So like I said, that's the good. The good news is he has nowhere to
But
go.
he has to
up.
say why.
Yeah, but
he
how do you
has
get
to-
him out of the trouble?
He has to
Yeah.
say, he has to defend his choice to do what he did.
He's
so
gonna
what does he need to tell them to get out of
deeply
this?
offer his deepest apologies. He's not going to mean it, of course. He's going to say, "I offer you my deepest apologies. I was being insensitive. I was going through a bad. I'm stressed out at work. That was just the stress talking, man. That was just the stress talking. Let's just press the reset button, okay? Like Russian reset. Let's just press the reset.
Well, he
button
can say
on the
anything because he doesn't mean it. So,
No,
so
it's good.
literally
So now-
say,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I like that. So
Be
Barry,
contrite.
literally say anything.
Yeah.
Say anything that you feel, anything that you want to, because you don't actually feel it, so you don't ever have to back it up.
We're talking about Barry's survival.
Fucking liar.
We're talking about Barry's survival. So Barry, you need to dig deep, brother. You need to dig deep.
Yeah.
Learn not to blink. Don't touch your face with your left hand because that means you're lying, and don't look away because the FBI. That's how they catch you in the FBI when you're lying. People tend to look to the left and touch their face with their hand.
And nobody the FBI questions knows these things, right? Nobody's got a computer
I
or a phone.
I have a funny mother-in-law story that happened to me.
Okay.
It's not a funny situation, but I'll just get to the how am I going to say this? So
You killed your mother-in-law's dog.
no, my
okay.
mother-in-law had a situation right before we arrived, and she had to go to the hospital. She's fine. It turned out to be nothing, but it was all precautionary because she's 84, So they wanted just to make sure everything was okay. So she went to the hospital and had some tests done, and they're keeping her overnight. So we got there and we went to visit her. So she's in a shared room, and she's on the back half of the room. So when you walk in, there's a somebody else, and you got to walk past them, and there's a partition.
Right.
My mother-in-law's on the other side. So she didn't know we were coming at that exact moment. So I come around the curtain. She's sitting on the edge of the bed, right?
Oh, no.
And she's got a cord that's connected to another cord in her hand. And she looks over, and she says, she sees me. I walk in first. She goes, "Hey, Mark, come over here and unplug this for me." I'm not lying. She goes, "Come over here and unplug this for me."
It wasn't her ventilator.
She had to go to the bathroom. It was the monitor, so she had to do,
Pulling the cord for
so
her?
I joked, like, I without hesitation ran as quick as I could over my mother-in-law and pulled the plug on her.
Kevorkianed her?
I looked at her and I go, "Ma, you really want me to pull the cord on you this early? I just got
You
here."
call your mother-in-law Ma?
Well, no, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do.
Really?
Sometimes. I said sometimes. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
walk her. I
No,
call her.
I-
Normally, most 90% of the time, I call her by her name, but sometimes
Hey, Grammy, Grammy.
we call her Grandma too because she's our.
Wait, was your wife there when you made the I want
Yeah,
to pull the plug on
so
you?
yeah, so she goes in the bathroom, and my father-in-law and my wife were there, but it was like she really needed to go to the bathroom, so I unplugged it. She got up, and she went to the bathroom. When she was in the bathroom, I looked at my father-in-law, and I said, "You never know what she just asked me to do." He goes, "What?" First thing I did, she walked in. She asked her son-in-law to pull a plug on her, and I did.
And did he say, I offered to do that once a day for the last
we all
20
had a good
years?
laugh, but it was pretty funny. I mean, she literally asked me to pull the
He
plug.
said,
on
"How'd
her.
you pull that off?"
Damn it, I've been trying to pull the plug on her for the last 40 years.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
she just won't die.
No. That is
There's a backup generator, unfortunately.
all right.
I pull it
all
out.
right, right. That's enough.
All right. I got an idea that is pure genius
Hang on, I'm getting a call.
from your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Scam likely. Mark.
So my sister-in-law had an idea that all the kids are in college now. Well, they're two oldest are just graduated recently, but we have 3 in college, and they all started on the same day, Monday, yesterday. And she's like, "Did you get your first day of school photos from them?"
Is your sister 5?
No, it's this thing. She just thought it was cool. If, when they're younger, you take pictures of them
Oh,
going
yeah,
to school
for
for
sure.
the first day.
Yep.
And now they're off at college and here at home. And she said, "Hey, send me a first day of school picture. Just a selfie." My kids did not. Lyle sent a recycled photo that he just had on his phone.
No, but there's actually people who do
That
that.
would be
Like
kinda cute.
Well, it's like tradition. Like you take the same. Like I think there was
Oh,
like
yeah,
one guy.
same.
He took the same photo with his family every year, dressed the same every year for like the next 30 years. So it was
Okay,
like a
but the
tradition.
same
so.
dress the same is stupid.
Well, I mean,
but
the
your
same,
first day of school, yeah. You're in the same
but
place.
We didn't get a picture.
Okay.
My boys did not partake.
They did not. They're just
Not
having
yet,
fun.
but they still could. What difference does it make? First day, second day.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a day. I mean, it's you can take a picture any day and say it was first day.
And
so.
where they're at in school, by the way, it was 100 degrees yesterday,
Yeah.
the first day of school.
Oh,
It hit 100. I told my son, I said, "Nolan, you realize you were in the hottest city in the country yesterday."
He's like, it
was 100 degrees
Damn right.
in
If I was
in
here, it's
Iowa.
hot. Is that what he said? Yeah.
Turn up the heat.
Yeah. So all right. I've got a great idea. Well, Oklahoma has a great idea. State of Oklahoma guaranteed something. Okay, but first I want to do this. We remember Oklahoma. That's the school districts, their state
Oh, I
that
know
has the
that. I know.
Bibles, right?
Oh, what a
They have-
beautiful morning.
What's the Bible Belt?
Oh, what
yeah.
a beautiful
So they got to teach the
day.
Bible.
Tennis-
Wait, isn't
You're not talking about the
Oh,
music.
God, no. They put up the 10 Commandments in all the Oklahoma schools, and then some people said, "Hey, we're not Catholic," and the guy said, "If you don't like it, just don't look at it."
It's good.
And when the parents said, "How about if we do better? Just don't fucking have it up there." But that was his answer: just don't look at it. Your kid doesn't have to look at it.
So if I just surf porn on my phone, I'll be like, "You just don't look at it."
Just don't look
Okay.
at it. Yeah, you can put pornographic pictures all over the walls. Just say there's pornographic pictures. Just tell your kid not to look at it.
Yeah, but
The
that was
fuck?
a great thing that the Saint Church of Satan or the
Yeah.
they stepped in.
Oh yeah, they're stepping
Yeah,
in all the
yeah.
states. Yeah. So any religion you have, they are stepping
The
in.
Satanic Temple.
Yeah, Satanic Temple.
Is
and
there
they're-
a separation of church and state already that's well established law?
but it's not. It's
Oh, it's
clearly
not. Oh,
it's
it's
clearly
not.
it's
Okay.
not.
All right, so-
Yeah, it's clearly not. But so Oklahoma came out last week and they said they guarantee that their students' scores will go up 33% this year.
Because of
guarantee. So I want you guys to just take a quick think. I want you to take a quick think of all the things, because you guys have been in school. I mean, right? I was a teacher,
sort of.
and it kind of immediately I saw it. I was just like, wow, what do they know that could make scores guaranteed? By the way, guaranteed to go up 33%.
Ted knows. Hang on. Give Ted a chance. Go, Ted.
because a passing grade instead of the 80% is now 45%.
Exactly. So
I was
so
thinking
they
the
came
same
out,
thing.
They
All the
came out,
teacher
right.
needs to do, all they need to do is lower the standard.
Right. So they come out with this press conference, right? And they say, we're going to do this. And then, of course, they ask questions. How are you going to do it? Say, don't worry about it. We're going to do it. And then they find out that I think like 2 or 3 weeks later, no questions were allowed to be asked except don't worry about it. Then they find out that Oklahoma just lowered the passing score enough so that they would have a 33% increase in scores. So they lowered it so instead of 80, 40, bam, everybody's smarter, everybody's passing. Congratulations.
They couldn't do that on the statewide thing, though. Was it the state?
Statewide.
Or was it
State. Yeah.
That's
This is the same
unbelievable.
guy. This is the same Bible guy. This is the same 10 Commandments guy. This is the same guy. Yep. That's his genius.
That's like
move.
as a teacher saying, I guarantee everyone's going to pass my class.
Yep.
And everyone's getting at least a B. I'll have a B average in my class.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
And here you go. Question number 1, kids. And this is great because I will tell you this. When I was in Chicago, we would give the kids these ridiculous tests that tested nothing. And it was part of our teacher evaluation. And if the kids did well on the test, my evaluation went up, and I got a better score when I was when the principals came by and passed. Did their little thing on me. Where they say, oh, you did this and this and this, and then you do all that, and then they say, oh, what are your scores on these stupid tests? And we figured it out, and we all said, well, why don't we just make sure the kids? It was the growth. So at the beginning of the year, you give the kids a test, just blow through it, don't help them at all. They get a terrible score. At the end, in May, you give the kids a test, and you go like this. All right, everybody. And this still didn't guarantee everyone passed, by the way.
Yeah.
You ready? All right, everybody. Question number 1 is C. Please circle C. I had 4th graders. They had no idea they had no idea what we were doing, right? And they were doing it. And even then, giving all the kids the answers, still, and I didn't have to doctor anything. I didn't have to erase anything. Still, kids got just enough wrong with growth, plenty of growth.
To make you look bad.
To make me look
Why
good.
do you think
No,
they
to make
did
me
that,
look
Matt?
good. To make me look good.
Oh.
Yeah, to make me look good.
But that's
Well,
true.
no perfect
If
scores.
they knew the ruse, they would have fucked you.
they would have.
If the gig is up here.
No, but a lot of
The
teachers,
jig is
it
up.
is like that. Like if you fail too many kids, even if it's legit, they're going to kind of scrutinize you
Oh, yeah,
as a
you
teacher.
can't.
So you don't want to hold kids back. So, but that's actually good. I think I talked about this before, where you want to always be trending up. So as a student, I was thinking, even if you know the stuff, mess stuff up on purpose, and then just trend up where you're getting stronger and stronger at the very end. But actually, it's funny. The teacher should be doing that. You should be giving the hardest tests at the beginning, and then at the very end, make the test easier, so it shows that the kids are quote unquote growing and learning.
does.
And that way you look good. Which at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about.
But what you forget was he was in CPS. He was
Yeah.
a tenured teacher in CPS.
I went to
Chicago
CPS.
So
Public
it does.
schools.
He could have failed every student. Came in the next morning, took a shit on the desk, and still had his job.
Yeah. As long as you don't
I mean,
molest anybody
No,
or
I
kill
mean they would
anybody.
obviously the principal
that's
would have
it.
fired him.
No,
But he would
You know how hard
have
it would
filed.
be?
He would. They could still fire you, but you'd still get your job back.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
for sure.
process.
Yeah.
Firing is the first process. You going to the union and getting your job back is
Yeah. And my boss was really stupid because we had a bunch of terrible teachers, and he would constantly fire them the wrong way or do all the paperwork the wrong way.
Nice.
And it takes 2 or 3 years at least to fire a bad teacher. I mean, it's a sad thing to say.
we had a bad teacher at our grammar school when we first started,
Yeah.
and she was kindergarten, and there were some things going on, and the parents collectively got together with the LSC and then got together with the principal, and the principal didn't like her either, so he fired her, and she had kids at the school. He fired her. She fought to get her job back. It was a year process. She got her job back and came back to the school, despite the fact that nobody wanted her there. Colleagues, principal, parents.
But
That's
I've-
a lot of
that's-
hate. That's
yeah.
a lot of hate.
But
to
I've
go
read,
to
I've read
school
that
every day.
not just the teachers, but I've read jobs where like so you fire somebody, they go to court, and not just for monetary gain, but to actually get their job back. And now you have to bring them back, and now
You're
there's
talking about somebody-
Well, no,
literally what I just said.
no, but I'm saying, but they're still under you, so now you still have to
Yes.
deal with this person,
Yes.
and you've already tried to,
Yes.
you've already gone scorched earth, you've already done the nuclear option where it's
God,
like, I
what
fired this
control
person.
would you even have
It's
over
like,
somebody
it's
like
Pet,
that?
It's like Pet
like
Cemetery.
this guy right here,
It's like Pet Cemetery. They came back.
or you fire somebody, and then they go like somewhere else, and then they get their job back, and they come back, and they have to work under you again, and then it's
Mark,
like
you're,
they got their
Mark,
jo-
you're repeating yourself.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Okay. So here's what I was thinking. I was thinking I could really help Oklahoma, right? Let's go full bore. We're going to be the helpful show this week.
Is that what you're calling Ted now, Oklahoma?
Yeah, we're
You're going to help
Ted,
Oklahoma.
I'm going to help. I'm not helping you, Ted. I'm helping Oklahoma.
He's putting
Yeah.
quotation marks there.
All right, so I figured there's a couple things we could do. For the spelling bee, instead of spelling the word correct, you only need some of the letters in some kind of order.
How about just repeat the word? You don't have to spell it. The word is cat. Cat.
Excellent.
Correct.
Thank you. It's not a spelling test anymore. It's a repeating test.
Right.
It's just repeating. Okay. I thought a math test where they can accept numbers or pictures of animals. So you don't just have to write the right answer. You could just draw a picture of a zebra or a circle fish.
Now that's really creative
Yeah.
math.
Yeah.
That's being real creative.
And if you want to bring that into like the business part of Oklahoma, instead of giving everybody a raise, right? Because you can say, but you can say you're giving everybody a raise, but instead just pay the top people less, so that the bottom people are closer. There's a less of a difference between the top people's pay and the bottom
you
people's
just
pay.
extrapolate
You'll
that to
eventually get to zero, though, right?
Yeah, and then the business.
It's
yeah.
actually going to go the other way.
Right. But I mean, all of these
At
things.
some point, they're going to be, wait a minute, I'm making less than when I started.
But all of these things are ways that Oklahoma can kind of reverse engineer life.
Yeah.
Right? Just to make it easier for everybody. So everybody in Oklahoma is a fucking genius.
just lower the bar.
Or they could just be normal.
Normal.
Yeah.
What do you mean normal?
I mean, work hard,
No,
No.
teach hard.
You know,
Teach. Don't listen.
live
don't teach
hard,
hard.
live hard, love hard. Yeah, actually, here's what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say we guarantee scores are going to go up 33% because we have the 10 Commandments posted in the classroom for inspiration.
The
That's
funny
what I,
thing
that's
is
what
they
I thought you
spelled
were,
guaranteed wrong.
That's that's what I thought you were going to say.
That was the memo. It was
Sir, that's the 10 Commandments.
there was three typos.
Yeah, but well, you know what? Nobody in Oklahoma would probably at this point be able to tell if anything was misspelled anyway, right? Because they're just kind of dumbing everything down.
They're used to reading on Truth Social, right?
Yeah, by the time you get to 8th grade, you start in kindergarten in Oklahoma, and you start doing this and just lowering the scores and lowering the scores. By the time you get to 8th grade, it's just like, what do I need to pass this test, ma'am? You'll need to sit down and you hear, like, okay, try again. Try sitting down slower this time, though, okay? Because I want you to pass this test. I really want you to pass this test.
Well, I feel kind of bad for the kids because if they go from kindergarten, say through high school, and they graduate, and now they're like, hey, I can get into Yale. I can get into Yale or Harvard because I got all A's. And then they take the test.
East Harvard High School, maybe, or the Yale School of Typing.
of locks, Yale locks,
Yale locks,
lock picking.
Yeah. You got to Yale? Yeah, I'm the lock guy now. That's me. I do all the locks. Absolutely.
So the state fair, Minnesota State Fair, is awesome.
Okay.
So they have tons and tons of food vendors everywhere. It's a massive event. We were there for 12 hours. 12 hours.
It's a lot of fair time.
Oh, man, I swear I could have gone back the next day. So anyway, try and guess. So a lot of the food there's like corn dog, things on a stick. Like we mentioned it last week. A lot of stuff there. Great food, awesome food. One of the best things I had was walk-in shepherd's pie.
I love shepherd's pie.
Dude, it was so good. It was at O'Gara's, which is a real famous bar there. They got a huge bar. So they had the walk-in shepherd's pie. They were almost like, if you could picture a pizza puff cut in like fours, it was like that. It was awesome. So try and guess what the number one, and my sister-in-law had something that was new. So they always add like 10 to 15 new items at the fair. Different vendors. They don't belong to the Minnesota state. They're just like restaurateurs that introduce a new food. The waffle place had, it was a bacon cheeseburger in a waffle, like folded in a waffle with like
Love
some
that.
hot sauce. It was good. I tried it. It was really good. But the number one food after day one, number one new food, try and guess Try and give me a guess. I'll give you a hint. It was a condiment.
Oh, it's got to be a Pepper X hot sauce.
No, it was fried ranch dressing.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Fried ranch dressing was the new big hit at the fair.
Explain this because I'm actually going to
I
vomit.
didn't see it. The line was huge. We saw the booth that was selling fried ranch dressing. I don't even know if it was on a stick or not. It might have been on a stick.
How would you get ranch dressing on a stick?
Well, here's how I guess. Here's our guess, our best guesstimate. We didn't look it up. I assume it was, you know how you could make your own ranch dressing with the powder, right? Or
Right.
Italian seasoning. I'm assuming it was like cream cheese with that ranch dressing mixed in it and then breaded and fried, which probably is what it was, like a crab wonton or
Right.
crab rangoon.
Yep.
But without the dough. So it was probably cream cheese seasoned with a ranch dressing, battered, and then deep fried.
Okay, hold on. You ready? You ready for this?
Dude, it was
It's-
by far the number one new
I'm
food.
looking at a thing right now that says he is at the Minnesota State Fair eating deep fried ranch.
It's a huge hit.
It's literally just anything that's deep fried. Just inside it when you bite it is ranch dressing.
Well, this is
I
why
think it's cream cheese that's melted down. It has to
there's
be.
so-
It's got to
oh
be
my
solid
God.
when you deep fry it.
Oh my God, that just looks so
well. All you
I
need
bet
to
you
know,
it was good. We didn't
all,
try
all
it.
you need to know
Oh
is
my
the
God.
what the obesity rate in the United States is what, like 40% compared to Japan, which is like 10%, 5%. So deep fried ranch dressing, I'm sure, has nothing to do with that, right?
Oh man, whatever they have when they have Japan State Fair.
Japan State
Okay, you know what? I'm terrible at geography. I'm sure there's states or regions or whatever. I don't know. In Japan, I'll bet you at no point are they like, yeah, we went to America, we saw this, we bring it here, and he's like, no,
The biggest lines by far were for the dill pickled pizzas. So pizza with dill pickles on it.
That doesn't sound bad. I've had a hot dog pizza. That was really good.
And the other one was the cookie. It was like a cookie, but that's always there every year. And then also the buckets of French fries.
Here's a question I got for you guys. Okay, you guys are obviously good cooks, talented chefs. Why can't you guys just open not even a restaurant, but like a stand, and just take the best of everything from a state fair? You already know what people like, and just make that, and that's your menu.
Well, every restaurant is participating outside the
Right.
state fair. They all have like state fair like
Yeah,
themed foods and stuff like that.
Working in food is extraordinarily difficult.
Right. But take the best of the
No,
best.
Tell
just,
me,
just
I had
take
a kitchen for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean it's just impossible.
the deepest fried
It's hard.
stuff.
so much work involved.
Everything with bacon. Everything with bacon ranch
but
dressing.
Teddy, everything you see made, the prep that goes into making all these things and getting all these things. I mean, there's just hours and hours and hours of
No.
not.
Everything's air fryers now, Matt.
See? That's right.
I knew it.
Well, here example that barbecue place that was in Park Ridge that unfortunately shut down.
Mel's
we were
Barbecue.
talking to the gentleman, and he said that he has a wood burning stove that he has to basically tend for hours on
Yeah,
end
we saw
because
that.
Yeah.
but I mean, obviously he painstakingly made that food, and
And if
it still went out of business. So
Yeah,
obviously
because
people
they're in
don't.
a terrible spot.
You have
Yeah.
to be the rule of thumb is in the food industry, and I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I was in it for a few years. There's like you have to be at somewhere. Your food costs have to be somewhere between 20 and 30%. So you need to mark things up like 70, 80%, depending on what it is. But you got to keep your total costs at around 20 to 30%. If you get above that 30% threshold, you're losing. You're not going to make it. So you're best to be around 20, 25%.
Well, look at the businesses that have
And
been
it's
in
hard.
business for.
I mean,
Superdog has been there since like the 1940s. Gene and Jude's has 4 things on the menu: hot dog, tamale, French fries, and soda pop.
Yeah, it's simple. I mean, that's different though. I mean, you're talking about anomalies.
Yeah.
For every Gene and Jude's, there's 30 hot dog joints that go out of business every day in the city
Yeah.
of Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
that's
you
just
have
it.
your staples like those, and then everybody thinks they could do it.
Yeah.
Because like what you just said, it's so simple. How could it be? Everyone thinks they can open a hot dog stand.
Because Gene and Jude's isn't in the best spot either. It's on River Road, and it's just kind of a standalone place. There's no homes around
But if
there.
you got a hot dog stand, what's your average ring? $7?
Yeah,
I mean, what do you sell? Hot dog and fries for $7, right? $6, $5.
Well, that's Superdog, but I think Gene and Jude's is cheaper. I mean, last time I was there, which is a few years ago, I
Yeah,
think
but
it
try
was
and
like,
make money selling where your average ring is $6 or $7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough thing,
yeah.
man. Especially if you're getting food out fast and it's got to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, people have to like it, right? I mean, you have to have a certain taste. I mean, if you try to copy something, why would you go to the copy, right? If you open up a hot dog place and somebody says, "Yeah, it's as good as this place," well, I'm just going to go to this place, right? It's got to be better than that.
Well,
place.
assuming that place is close to you. Like if that place is like in another state or like downstate, you're not going to go to that place. You're going to go to this place that might be almost as good as that place.
The staples set the standard, and then everyone else is just like following. You know, it's like Italian beefs, right? There's like what?
There's Al's Italian Beef.
There's tons of them, but there's like
Mr.
10.
Beef.
There's like 10 solid ones in the city of Chicago. That's everyone's goal.
Buena Beef and Jay's.
Yeah.
Jay's
Well,
beef is good.
Bona Beef is kind of a newer player. I mean, Portillo's is before them.
Yeah.
Bona hasn't, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
there's Al's. There's Al's.
and some,
Yeah.
and everybody's. The funny thing is with food is everybody's got a different opinion on what the best
Yep.
this is
Well,
or
it's
the best that.
it's subjective, obviously. It's
Right,
not-
right.
Yeah,
So I mean, if you have a place and you do have legitimately great food, everybody there has to like your great food.
Yeah.
That's part of
Well,
it.
plus
I mean,
it's
that's tough.
regional too. Like if you like Google the 10 top hot dogs in the country, every state like the South makes their hot dogs differently than the Midwest does versus the East Coast versus the West Coast. So it's a regional thing too. There's
Oh,
nothing.
and by the way, on Netflix, I was watching something. And it pops up. There's something a show. I don't know what it is. A documentary, Chestnut versus Kobayashi, about the two hot dog eating guys.
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah.
I'm never gonna watch it. I'm never gonna watch it. But it's just two guys who have almost an entire hot dog stuffed in their mouth. Honestly, if you covered up the thing, it's as close to, hey, come check out a documentary on gay porn, and we're just making it really obvious now.
But
yeah.
the difference between those two guys is huge, right? I mean, Chestnut wins every year up until this year.
Wait, didn't he get disqualified? I think he was cheating.
No,
They said he was
they
cheating
wouldn't let
or
him.
something.
They wouldn't let him participate because he signed $1 million sponsorship.
Oh, with a different
of-
with a different hot dog.
No,
a
a
vegan.
vegan hot dog.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't. That doesn't,
Nathan's
and
is
that
like,
doesn't
no
even make
way.
sense to me. How can you stop someone?
Well, it's
from,
their contest, Nathan's Hot Dogs.
yeah, but how can you exclude? I
They don't want
understand
the number one person, the number one
Right.
hot dog champion guy eating vegan hot dogs.
But he's
'Cause
clearly,
Nathan's doesn't
even though
make a
he's
vegan hot dog.
but even though he's
He'll be back in
promoting
next
vegan
year.
hot dogs, he's still for the contest not eating vegan hot dogs.
right.
So
He's wearing a Nathan's jersey and all that.
I-
Yeah,
just the whole thing. I mean, how do you stop someone like from doing anything? Like this guy likes to skydive. Well, it can't be in our contest. Yeah, it's a hot dog.
You know,
eating
why?
contest.
It's called optics. It's like if you're a high level executive at Ford Motor Company and you drive a Kia to work, that's not good.
I would tell you right now, Kias are better cars than Fords.
Or if you're
There's no doubt in my mind.
or if you're a Pepsi executive and and you have a Coca-Cola on your desk while you're having a meeting, that's not good.
So I haven't had a soda in 20 years, maybe more. But I will tell you, I liked Pepsi much better than I like Coke.
Right.
oh, you're out of your mind.
What?
I don't mind a Pepsi, but
we
I
have a
like
soda
Coke
fight?
better.
I say we have a soda fight.
How about
All
a
right.
Diet Mountain Dew?
I probably drink a pop like once every 3 or 4 months, and I had a pop. Kelly and I went to McDonald's, and we got one Coke. McDonald's fountain Cokes are awesome, and we shared it. I'm like, oh my god.
Ooh, put the vanilla ice cream in the Coke. That would be good. Like
I didn't get ice cream.
the soft serve ice cream. at
I
McDonald's is
would.
good.
You know what? I would have a root beer float.
Yeah.
I would have a root beer float. Yeah. But
Pop,
it's got to be real root beer.
pop
like
is a
somebody makes it, not.
pop's a sometimes food. It is. I mean,
I
I,
don't- I
I,
don't
mean,
like-
I don't. We have pop in our house, but I don't drink it. Guests have it. We have people over, whatever. But you have to have something to offer somebody besides water and beer. My experience, at least. So we have pop in the house, but I never drink it. I haven't cracked open a pop in my house in years.
I'm sorry. You said besides water and beer.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think what
Just
there
an
is
option.
besides water.
Cra-
Oh,
cra-
Crown Royal for Ted.
Cranberry
Yeah, there you go.
juice, tomato juice.
What do you have for breakfast? We got water. We got orange juice. Crown Royal. Yeah.
And we call it pop here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Not soda.
breakfast?
So I picked up soda when I went down to Eastern for college.
Yeah,
Everybody called it soda.
I know they call it soda. in
And then
Minnesota
after
as
a
well.
while, you're just down there so much, and you
Yeah.
hear it all the time. Yeah,
Well, and then Far South calls it soda pop.
yeah.
They literally call it soda
Well,
pop.
that's just weird. Let's just be honest. That doesn't make sense to me. It's probably Kentucky though. Just leaks all over the place. Yeah, it's really gross. All right, so we haven't done this in a long time, but I would like to nominate someone for the Total Piece of Shit Award
on a stick.
on a stick.
Since
Yeah,
it's-
you know,
since
I'd
the
love
fair's
to have this
going
guy.
on right now.
Dude. I would love.
Deep fried total piece of shit on a stick.
Oh my god! You know what? This guy is a total piece of shit. Total
I
deep fried piece of
I
shit.
agree 100%.
Did I send you this
in
already?
advance.
Oh, No.
I didn't think
I thought we were on the same page, man.
Oh, we are on the same page. Okay. Republican Pennsylvania State Rep Russ Diamond. Anybody familiar with Pennsylvania State Representative Russ Diamond?
Well, he's kind of got a cool name, but I'm guessing it goes downhill from there.
Is he in a band?
He does kind of sound like a band name. All right. So, did you guys watch the RNC or the DNC at all? Did you watch it?
This isn't Neil Diamond's son, is
This is not Neil Diamond's son.
it? Okay.
Not really. Yeah. I mean, I thought a smattering of both, but nothing.
No, I was out.
substantial.
I was out of. No.
Okay. During the DNC, Tim Walz, the guy who's running for vice president, he had his learning disabled son Gus talk. Did you guys hear about that?
I just saw the part where the kid stood up and he was real emotional. He goes, "There's my dad," and I guess some right wing pundit said that was kind of weird, and she got basically raked over the coals and took down the mean tweet, and then basically the left came after her, for bullying this kid. And I guess it turns out the kid has like a nonverbal learning disability, supposedly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
he's got a learning disability. Okay. So after Tim Walz's son Gus talked, and when you hear it, you can tell he's got some issues. Okay.
And other politicians made fun of this.
Okay. After he talked, Diamond got on Twitter. Okay, which really at this point, no one should use this, right? I mean,
nothing good's going to happen right.
Twitter is just for meanness.
Well, Twitter's
and,
done.
and psychotic.
It's called X now.
No, Twitter's just
Well-
to get canceled. Twitter is just to get canceled. When you say something bad on Twitter, something bad's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I feel like if you're using Twitter, you're saying something bad, right? You're doing something bad. Okay. He told everyone that it's okay. Ooh, it's a tough one. It's okay for people to make fun of Walz's son because he decided to talk during the convention. So it was okay. So because
So it's fair, he's fair game.
he's fair game, even though he's got a learning disability.
You
It was
don't
just
have
there
to
He's
be.
seven-
You don't
he's
have to be
17.
nice. You don't have
You
to
don't have
be.
to. No,
He's
it
17.
was
politically
okay.
correct. You don't have to have respect for other people. You don't have to appreciate. No empathy. No. I mean, just be mean. Be hateful.
It's okay
Don't
to
worry
be
about.
hateful.
It's okay to be hateful. It's okay to hurt other people with words and
Right.
things. Right. Yeah. That's what this guy's saying.
That's exactly.
And that's
exactly
who wants
what
to
he
make
said.
decisions for other people in his state. That's a
Yeah.
state. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
So folks in Pennsylvania, do yourself a favor. Make sure you cast your vote the next election for the other candidate, okay? And to Republican State Representative Russ Diamond, sir, and I use that term very loosely, you are a complete and total piece of shit.
And I hope everybody can tell that I'm being sarcastic when I was speaking just a few minutes
Obviously-
ago.
obviously
Everything
we know.
is sarcasm at that point. But yeah, that guy's.
And I think the kid's
bad
only
news.
17 too. It's
Yeah.
not like he's 28. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. So.
I mean, if you, I went back and I listened, and it's obvious
Yeah.
that he's got issues,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, it's not like if Hunter Biden spoke on behalf of Joe Biden and people ripped him on X because obviously he's got a serious prostitution and drug issue.
Oh
so
my
he,
God,
They're
Ted.
unser- yeah.
he kind of is fair game. So what I'm saying, this kid's
He
17.
just can't
yes.
stop himself.
I know.
He
You
just
like,
can't stop
unbelievable.
himself.
Where did
I
that
don't know
come
why
from?
you're such an apologist. I'm just picking out someone.
but I'm saying-
who
How
no
did
matter
Hunter
who this-
Biden? You brought Hunter Biden into this.
No, I'm just saying if you're going to go after somebody's kid, go after a guy who's like 50. He's like 54.
Go
He's
after
not
an
a
adult
kid.
man.
Yeah, he's an adult man. So,
Okay,
but,
so
he-
now
but
you
he's
go
somebody. But I'm
after
saying he's
a
somebody's son.
teenager.
He's somebody's son. Yeah, this kid's 17.
Everybody's somebody's
So
son.
you have
Yeah.
standards here.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Okay.
Well, Hunter Biden's like my age. I can make
So
fun of
okay.
Hunter Biden.
So if you're okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
So you can get on Twitter and just make fun of anybody as long as they're adults and they're not teenagers.
right.
well, I'm just saying the guy's got
You
some
could
issues.
be mean, have no
Yeah.
empathy, and kick somebody when they're down, or
Yeah.
fault somebody for being human, as long as they're over a certain age.
Yes. Or they're in a different
Yeah,
political
no
party.
one, one's feeling sorry for Hunter Biden. He's got it pretty damn good. So that too. It's not like he's
I
no,
actually
he's no victim.
here.
He's no
I actually
victim.
He's got it
in the
very good,
weirdest
man.
way.
He's had a pretty rough life.
Yeah, in the weirdest
He's
way.
a drug addict.
Right.
I mean, his brother died. His mom died. Right. I mean,
Yeah, and all of his trials
wait,
and
it's Hunter's
tribulations.
mom. No, it's Hunter.
His original mom, I think. Right.
No, I think. Well, one of his kids
When he
lived in a
remarried.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then everything that you do in your personal life is just shit on by all these people. That's a tough gig, and I'm not I'm not apologizing for being a drug addict and any of that
No,
stuff.
I know, I got you.
and you know what? Once that actual laptop is found, once actual Hunter Biden's actual laptop,
Ooh, speaking of laptop, yeah, you know who found it? Mike Lindell.
he found it also.
So he was at the
How many
DNC too.
fucking laptops does this guy have?
Did you see him at the DNC?
No.
No,
He shaved his mustache and put on a hat, went in there incognito, tried to sneak in. And he got in. And he berated a kid.
I didn't know that. So yeah,
He
like I said, I
shaved
didn't
his
really watch. I didn't
mustache.
watch. I didn't watch any of that.
Yeah, I just saw.
He was
dude,
walking
you
around
can't
handing
make
out
this-
pillows. It
you
was so
cannot make
obvious
this
it
up.
was him.
You cannot make this up. It was unbelievable.
Oh my god,
He,
dude!
yeah, he snuck in
Is this?
Yeah.
This is the
as
great.
an agitator. He tried to be one of those,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of like.
And then ask
But it just
stupid.
backfired.
Have somebody filming, and then he asks some stupid question, and somebody goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
So
and he goes, "Well, nothing. Do you want a pillow?"
So a Democratic congressman from the state of Georgia, I believe, invited this. I think he's like an 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid who's he's like amazing. He's like a personality, right? He like interviews people and stuff like that. So he invited him to the DNC to go and interview politicians. You know,
That sounds like a Conan O'Brien thing.
so he was there, and Lindell, is it Mike Lindell?
Yeah, Mike Lindell.
Sought him out, found him. You can look up the video, and he goes up to the kid and he's screaming at him, like pointing at him. And it's a little kid. He's like 11, 12 years old. He's like, "Did you know that they found 285,000 votes in your state of Georgia? Did you know that?" And the kid's like, "No. What's your source? Where are you getting this information from?" Blah, 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 blah. He's like, "No, but I understand what you're saying, but where's this coming from? Tell me where you're getting your information from." "Oh, well, it's true." And he's like, "Oh, so I'm just supposed to take your word, bro? That's what it is?"
That's what the kid said?
Oh yeah, he totally threw it back in his face.
Oh
and the
my
kid was like
God.
amazing. He's standing toe to toe with him, and this is a grown man looking down at him, screaming at him and pointing and spitting in his face about nonsensical shit that was already disproved years ago. Like 4 years ago was disproved.
Oh man,
Almost 5 years ago.
that's bad though. When you can't beat an
Yeah.
11-year-old in your bullshit argument,
Yeah.
you're kind of
Well, didn't Lindell get sued or is like he owes
Yes.
something? Like he
No, he already
did
lost.
some- yeah, he lost some.
Well, he's being sued for $1 billion. Still,
yeah for
right,
like
for
for
the
like the
Dominion.
Dominion.
yeah,
vote
he's part of that
counting
whole
shit.
thing. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit going
yeah.
on there.
A lot of people lost their job because of that one. So
Oh man, I mean, goddamn. You know what? It's funny how somebody thought that they could just say anything they wanted about a big company, and the company wouldn't do something about
sue
it.
them for libel and slander. Yeah,
I mean,
so.
it just seems weird. Like if you went out and you said company X, Y, and Z is selling crack to 7-year-olds,
Yeah.
and I have proof, and then you just say it for like 8-10 months, and then you have people come on that will tell your lies, and then company X, Y, and Z goes, yeah, we don't sell crack, we sell shoes,
Yeah.
we sell shoes, we have never sold crack.
Well, that's what happened to the Alex Jones, right? He had that conspiracy about Sandy Hook, that Sandy Hook mass shooting not being real, and he got sued. I think he lost like $1 billion
He lost everything.
judgment. Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
he's hiding money. You know, he is such a piece of shit.
Oh, dude, he's
what was it? What was it?
I
what was-
can't
what was his
believe nobody's put
what was
him
he like?
down.
What was he
I
like? A
honestly-
podcast that he had like a. He
He
was
had
like
a
kind of,
radio
he was
show,
kind of
yeah.
popular before that. Before
He
he
was
went off
very
the-
popular.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You know what? In his podcast, you know what he really did? He really just sold junk supplements and
That's it, yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
He
okay.
used that
Oh, okay.
just to sell junk supplements and junk things. That's what all these things do. Newsmax, I see them. I turn them on every once in a while. All they're doing is they spew out some lies, and then they try to sell you supplements. They try to sell you books.
Mm-hmm.
They try to sell you
They're like,
websites
yeah.
that you
Joe
can
Rogan
get on.
is no different. Joe Rogan always
Yeah,
talks
he's-
about same fucking
Well, except he
shit.
has
really
the most.
bad.
Except Joe Rogan has the most popular podcast in the country with
Yeah,
11
but
million
I-
followers.
I
on a
have-
still
weekly
don't
basis.
listen to it.
Yeah.
I try every once in a while.
I listen to the
It's-
Cheese
it's just-
podcast.
Yeah, I love the cheese podcast. It's just so weird. You know, it's like it's like they have no ability to have, I don't know, scruples. Like I could not come on here. I couldn't. And I wouldn't let you guys do it either, but I wouldn't let myself just come on here and spew lies.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, you know, there could be some outlandish stuff, but I mean, before you say that out loud in public, you better make sure you have some, like, evidence to back it up. You know, you can't just make stuff up like,
Yeah,
you know,
well, Fox News figured that out.
yeah.
$600 million later.
Yeah.
But they did it for how long? Until somebody finally, put their fist
But
down.
but it's going on since the beginning of time. Basically, if you repeat, I think they said this during Nazi Germany. If you just repeat a lie enough times, someone's going to believe it. I mean, obviously with social media, you can fact check better. But obviously, figure back in the 1800s and up to the early 1900s, you could just say anything, and if it was coming from like a high level official or like say the chancellor, I mean, people are going to believe that stuff.
It's
you know?
going on now.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
It's going on now. No
Yeah, it's
one's
way worse
sourcing
now.
it. No one's looking into it. They
Yeah.
can say whatever the hell you
But I'm
want.
saying, like, a
People
close-
repeat it and
Who
just
was
believe
it?
it.
Ronda Rousey came out and she said, like 10 years ago, I don't know if anybody knows this, but she admitted it. She came out and said it. She goes, I was reading some stuff about Sandy Hook, and watched a couple videos, and I fell into the trap, and I retweeted it, and I guess it stayed out there for like a day before she pulled it all back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all you need.
This is the MMA
Yeah,
fighter?
Yeah. She was
and,
popular
and,
back in the day.
and so she said, she goes, I never got caught. She goes, it was amazing that no one ever. She goes, but she goes, and she came out. I don't know if she's looking for publicity now or whatever. But I thought it was kind of cool. And she said, I did it. And she goes, I fell into that trap where it seemed like something that was believable. And she goes, and at the spur of the moment, I sent it out.
Yeah.
And she goes, it's the number. She said it. I think it was last week or week before. The number one thing in her life
Wow.
that she regrets the most, and she didn't get caught.
Yeah.
But she felt like, listen, I have to say that I did this. I have to admit that I did this, so that if somebody else is doing that, something like that, they can have, they can say, okay, listen, I got to do this. I fell into the trap of, this was stolen, or they're doing that, or there's a laptop with, every Russian code and as
But
much
she's
kiddie porn as you
she's a very poor example to use. She's a meathead.
Yeah, but
I mean,
but in all honesty, it was interesting that
I know,
she
but
would.
she's basically saying if a dummy like me can fall for it, any dummy could.
I think a lot of there's a lot of people we know. There's a guy down the
But
street.
here's what's funny. Just the overall thing. Like, just me personally. Like, even if I read something and I found it so compelling. I'm like, this is like, I just like stopped it. I'm so enamored by what I'm reading. I still wouldn't like go out of my way to like retype it and broadcast it. I would just keep it to myself. Like, wow, okay, I believe this, and this is it's crazy, but I believe it with all my heart. But I still wouldn't like put it on social media. You know what I mean?
You don't have any social media,
Right, I'm
though.
saying, but it doesn't take that extra level of motivation to not only believe it, but you're so proud of it now.
I wish he did. Then he
wanna
wouldn't tell us.
You want to tell?
He'd have another venue he'd have another avenue to vent.
Then you could just say on my
Instead of
social
telling
media.
to us
Mark,
to-
you're my venting.
I
You're my
know.
avenue.
Well, that's
You're
what I just said.
You're my
Yes.
you're my Huckleberry.
Yes,
But you
that's-
know what?
that's that's my point.
I think that's the trap. I think that's the trap people fall into, right? They want to be known because they figured it out, or they want to tell people that they figured it out. Somebody said, I was looking at something. They said Taylor Swift, because Donald Trump lied and said Taylor Swift was endorsing him, or was saying she wanted Donald Trump.
Somebody generated photos of her.
Well, obviously, it
endorsing
wasn't
him.
somebody.
Well,
it wasn't
like-
somebody.
well, they got AI.
Or whoever did.
Yeah, yeah.
He retweeted it and said, yeah. But they said, what kind of impact would that have?
She's very litigious, by the way.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. I'm not joking.
Oh, I would be
She's
too.
very protective.
I mean, I wouldn't let.
She's very protective of her brand.
Oh, I
And
can
that's,
see that.
That's her brand.
But they said if she came out and endorsed a candidate, he goes, what kind of effect would that have? And a couple of
she
people
has
said it
more
would have
followers.
a giant effect.
Yeah, she has more
Like-
followers
Like
than
literally,
Trump.
if she said,
Yes.
She has more
if she
followers than
picked
Trump.
one way or another, she could swing tens of millions of votes. That's the way they. That's what they
And
said. That's
why,
the power
that's
she
why
has
she
right
doesn't, That's why she doesn't.
now. I'm assuming why get involved. Listen,
Yeah.
it's America.
Yep.
I love America. I love everybody.
You know, when somebody she's smart, and she also puts herself around smart people, where she could have that kind of influence if she chose to, but there's repercussions for that, right?
Well, she's going to piss off half the. I mean,
Well,
if she makes half of the country happy,
I bet-
the other half is going to be unhappy.
Well, it's not. It's more about being responsible.
Right.
If she were to do something, and then ultimately it would happen because of what she did or said, she would hold some responsibility. And I think,
I mean, in
when you get-
an offset kind of
when-
way. Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, you just said it. She could sway an election. She could do this. She could do that. But
not,
you
not
don't.
sway an election, but she would have an effect on some votes.
Yeah.
They said tens of millions.
Well,
of
that's
votes.
that's
I
swaying
don't-
an election
I
when
don't
we
know-
have
I don't know
300.
about, I don't know about tens of millions. I mean, that seems a
Teddy,
seems pretty-
I don't know
seems
if
a
you
big stretch.
honestly.
you know.
I'm not sure if you can grasp the popularity that she has right now.
You know, I understand that she's very popular, but
His family flew across the world to see her.
They did.
but I'm sure they saw other stuff too, right? There wasn't just there. I mean, there was like others, like the River Thames. There was the.
They saw.
There was
They said they
food,
saw.
There was,
Here, this is what they said. I said, "How was the trip?" They said, "Taylor Swift is great, and we saw some fucking buildings and a river."
okay,
I said, "Great.
all
Okay,
right,
cool."
All right.
I mean, she filled up Wembley Stadium, 100,000 people.
So did Queen.
And
So did Foo Fighters
Right.
did.
So
I
did
mean,
Queen.
I'm pretty sure Foo Fighters had 999,000. Just
Hey, now we're talking about crowd sizes. Let's not go there, right?
Yeah. All right. We got to do Mark's movie mentions.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have we met? Okay.
I'm pretty excited about that. It's time for Mark's movie mentions. This week, brought to you by Charles Designer Ear Coverings. Do you have weird ears? Charles has the covers that will make your ears less weird. Go to charlesaircovers.com today and mention the Real 3 Idiots podcast for an extra 10% off.
It's ear covers, not air.
Ear, like your
just
like
don't-
your instead of nose, and I don't know if they do nose, but they do ear covers.
They're
Ted, you have
rent-
to-
they're
If
renting
you have
a-
to pee, go pee, Ted.
They're renting the space that Declan owns in Park Ridge there.
Oh, his extra space where Mel's was.
Yeah,
for
next
the ear
door,
covers.
the place next door, they have ear covers there.
So that you can get them in person.
Yep.
Because I feel like that's a tough thing. Ear covers are a tough thing to buy.
Well, no, it's still
Ear.
online. You go
Sorry,
in there to
ear.
place your order at a kiosk.
I'm
and it's
saying
mailed to
Air, like Air Jordans
Yeah, I
instead
know.
of ear.
you. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
you do that a lot.
I know. I get shit on a lot for beer and beer,
Yeah.
which sound exactly the same. All right, what do you got?
All right. Well, the movie I want to mention today came out in 1997. It's about hour 45 minutes, and it's
Long.
called. It's starring a great Minnie Driver. who I love.
Okay, dude.
I love Minnie Driver.
I think she's super hot.
Well, this is a movie that's kind of it's called Gross Point Blank with John Cusack, Joan, Dan Aykroyd, Alan Arkin's in it, Jeremy Piven, of course, is in every fucking John Cusack movie, and Hank Azaria's in it. So it's called Gross Point Blank. It came out in 1997. It's a funny story. There's some great fight scenes in it. It's a great soundtrack, and it is basically about a hitman who returns home to Grosse Pointe, Michigan, and his name is Martin Blank, so that's why it's
Right.
Grosse Pointe Blank. So to attend his 10-year high school reunion begrudgingly because his secretary, who was played by Joan Cusack, gets him a hit job in Detroit, Michigan, and Grosse Pointe is a suburb of Detroit. So she's like, while you're there, you got an invite to your 10-year high school reunion. So he goes and attends that, and it's just a great story. Minnie Driver plays his love interest from
Yes.
10 years prior to that. He stood her up at the prom, joined the army, became a hitman. I don't know. It's a good movie. It's a I don't even know how you describe it. It's a
Awesome.
comedy.
It is really good.
It is a comedy, but there's some seriousness to it. So I would say it's like a comedy, maybe a rom-com.
Romantic comedy. There's some romance in it.
It is, but it's got a lot of violence to it too. It's fucking awesome. Dan Aykroyd is great in it. I can't stress this enough. The soundtrack's fantastic. I think there was more than one soundtrack. There's so much music in this movie because Minnie Driver plays a DJ in the film. So there's just tracks laid through every scene in the background. So much music in this from the late 80s and 90s. It's great. Hang on, English Beat.
I love English Beat. Oh, you know what? That's one of those things when you're on the golf course and you got Spotify. You got to get one of those soundtracks. You got to get one of those
Mirror
playlists.
in the bathroom.
Oh man.
So Violent Femmes, actually
Love the Violent Femmes.
Motorhead, The Cure,
Cure
the
and Violent Femmes.
Bangles.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the David Bowie. It's just the soundtrack goes. There's so much music in the movie. The Pixies, the Progs, Echo and the Bunnymen. That song, The Killer Moon, Susie and the Banshees. Remember them? I mean,
Love Susie and the Banshees. Oh,
dude, it was
now I know
all
why I
these
like
songs
this
are
movie
thro-
so much.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and then the fight scenes in the movie are all like there's like music, some good music in the fight scenes, and yeah. So 10-year reunion, Grosse Pointe Blank. So Martin Blank goes back to it. Some shit ensues, but it's a really, really good story.
Did that win an Academy Award for something?
No, I don't think so.
No?
Not that I found. No.
Okay.
No, but so that's the movie I wanted to mention. It's really good, very entertaining. It moves very fast. The story is really good. The acting's good in it. It's just a solid movie. 1997. It's old, man. Hour 45 minutes. It was 15 million budget, and it earned like 31 million. I think it said at the box office. Grosse Pointe Blank, 1997. You can see it on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, YouTube. You can get it on YouTube. I think you have to pay on all those though, but check it out.
It's worth it.
It's
Absolutely.
totally
I
worth
think
it.
I've seen it back in the
Yeah,
day.
absolutely stone cold worth it.
Yeah, and just a side note, and I don't know if this is true or not, and I don't remember what year. I think it was like 10 years later, like 2008, something like that. John Cusack was in another movie called War Inc., and he plays a hitman, and his sister, Joan Cusack, plays his secretary in that.
Oh, they kind of reprised that?
Different name, but I think it's like almost like, yeah, it's like the same. Yeah, that's a really good movie too. That's a sleeper movie. I saw
War Inc.
It's called War Inc. Yeah, it's a
That's not
sleeper.
that one with that fat guy from Moneyball, is it?
No. You're thinking of a different movie. No.
Yeah.
You're thinking of
I don't like him anymore. I don't like
that's
Seth
a really
Rogen.
good
That's
movie.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah
Oh,
Hill.
don't,
Yeah.
just don't like Jonah Hill. I'm in small bits and pieces, but honestly, more than 10 minutes of Jonah Hill, and I'm
Wait,
out.
so there's
Dogs of War. That's what that's
That's
called.
what it is.
That's a good movie though.
I haven't yet seen it. It just seemed like a lot of Jonah
Did
Hill.
you know Jonah Hill's sister's an actress?
I didn't
She's
know
been in a bunch of movies.
Jeanette Hill?
No. And she looks just like him. No, different. No, his name
She's
is
fat
not
too?
his name's Feldman or something like that. His real name, and his sister goes by his real
Corey
name.
Feldman?
No.
Oh my! Is Jonah Hill Corey Feldman? That makes sense now. I didn't. Yeah, not
I kind of got him and Zach Galifianakis confused. He was kind of the other chubby, lovable guy. He was in the
Zach
Hangover movies.
Galifianakis is actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
He looks nothing like Jonah.
I know,
Hill.
but I mean,
one
you know,
has a beard and one is like
Right.
young.
Yeah, but one's fat and the other
but
one's
they
fat.
kind of they play the same
Yeah, but one's a
typecast
fat
character.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you ever see? Not you, fat Jesus. Have you ever seen Between Two Ferns?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot.
So Zach Galifianakis does an interview thing.
it's a YouTube.
Yeah, and
Channel
it's short. They're all like 10 minutes, and he has very very famous people on, but he's kind of like a bumbling. He's kind of like a bumbling idiot and a dick to almost
Yeah.
all of
So
his.
just passive aggressive.
Yeah, super.
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
super passive aggressive. And I'll tell you right now, it is some of the funniest.
I've
shit.
actually.
He had
it's
Barack
brought me-
Obama on
It's
there.
brought me to tears.
Yeah.
Some of the shit on
Yeah,
there.
it is
Yeah.
ridiculously funny. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it and you got nothing to do, hit up Between Two Ferns. Oh, and hit this one up that I was watching the other day. I watched too many of them. I stayed way too late. An Idiot Abroad.
I heard of that
Yeah.
one.
You've talked
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah. But check out those
Ricky
two. if you got-
Gervais.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Carl Pilkington is the star of that one. It is great. It'd be like if we sent Ted to all the different places, but he's like a way worse Ted. All right. A little bit of Olympics talk still. Pakistan won their first gold medal ever.
I heard.
You heard about
Dude,
that?
they gave that guy $1 million.
No, they gave him 350,000
And a donkey.
It's equal to like
no,
$1
you
million.
guys are all wrong.
And a donkey. They did give him a donkey.
They didn't give him a donkey.
Yes, they did.
Okay, it was a buffalo.
Oh, they gave him a buffalo.
It
That's
was
right.
a
Excuse me. It was a
buffalo.
buffalo.
Well, they
They
call
gave him-
buffaloes
I
donkeys.
love that you
there.
guys are both.
it was some type of large.
Right. Well, first of
Well,
all,
this wasn't a Cape buffalo. 'cause
right.
That
It's
would have been scary.
$350,000, which is $1 million in their money, and a buffalo's a donkey there.
I love it. They give $1 million and a donkey. Nope, it was $350,000 and a buffalo. Nope. Yeah, it was $350,000 for the first ever,
Prove it.
and they gave him a
He's gonna
buffalo.
Google it.
And at first, I had to look it up because why would he get a buffalo? Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
It's one of the actual highest gifts that someone can get in Pakistan.
Yeah, I'm saying it's got to be a cultural thing, obviously.
Yeah. So their
Cultural
milk,
thing, yeah.
the milk of a buffalo, female buffalo. Okay. Once they get pregnant, it takes I think 3 years old, and then once they get pregnant, they give milk out for the rest of their lives. Their milk is called black gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a water buffalo?
It's just kind of a buffalo-y buffalo, I guess.
Not a bison. We call bison buffalo. They're not
They're
buffalo
same,
at all.
I don't know.
Kind of looks like I think I saw a picture of it. It looks like a bison.
Yeah,
But it's just a buffalo.
It's a fucking buffalo. I don't know, man. I don't know if there's special fucking buffaloes in Pakistan. Okay, but the buffalo, and
You sure it's not a donkey?
I'm 100% sure it's not
It's
a
a donkey on steroids.
You
Yeah,
know what?
it's
You know what?
called a
The,
buffalo.
but
you
it's
know what
worth
the
$1
Indian?
million.
You know what the Indian, the Pakistani buffalo, that gets called a donkey says?
Oh, God.
He always calls me that.
Holy shit!
I was so stunned by that answer. I can't even.
You know what? We don't edit, but
Can't
we're
laugh or
editing
can't
that.
cry.
That's gone. That is fucking gone. Okay, and the buffalo is also called in Pakistan the poor man's bank because you can make so much money with the milk. I guess that the milk that you get from a buffalo makes ghee, Ghee, some kind of butter. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
It's some kind of super rich, silky butter, and that is a main staple. Ghee is a main staple. in Pakistan.
geese.
It's their huge big thing.
Okay, well, good for him. What did he win it in? What was the?
Javelin.
Oh, javelin. Okay, yeah.
He threw a javelin, world record.
Threw it really far,
Yeah.
obviously.
And he says he can for the next Olympics he can throw 7 to 8 feet further. Which
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Is he really Pakistani though?
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah.
not like one of
Straight-
these athletes that's from another country.
No, he's
because he
Pakistan.
has-
He's actually
okay.
Pakistani.
But
yeah.
and you heard about Saudi Arabia, right? So Saudi Arabia has never won an Olympic medal, Olympic gold medal, I think, and they have now announced that they are willing to pay any athlete, any gold-winning attempted
To become a
anyone who can-
citizen,
to
to-
become a
to-
citizen,
Yeah.
so that they can win for Saudi Arabia.
Joel Embiid, he's there.
Is that
He wants to play for Canada next year now too. The next Olympics. Joel Embiid.
Is he Canadian?
Well, he's French. He has French citizenship through the country in Africa that.
That's that. Okay, you
So
haven't
that's-
mentioned Canada yet. So is he Canadian?
Well, yeah, he has French. If you have French residency, you're residents of Canada too. It's dual residency thing.
Wait, people who are French
Yeah,
in France who've never been to Canada in their whole lives
yeah.
are also considered Canadian.
I'm pretty well.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
Well, I know Quebec is the French-speaking part of Canada, so maybe
Wait,
he's.
how am I
from-
wrong? I mean, no.
Look
I
it
mean,
up. Get on the computer.
I thought I was right. I'm sorry. I'm not going to look it up.
That
But I
doesn't make
thought
sense. That literally doesn't make sense to me.
There is a French.
French Canadian. I mean, I thought. Well, then why did
A
Joel
French
Embiid-
Canadian, a French Canadian is someone who lives in Canada who like is in Quebec.
Yeah.
Here, I'm
'Cause
typing up
that's
right
the-
now.
Yeah.
Do
there's no way.
French fries. I'm sorry, French citizen. I'm hungry.
Google Poutine.
Yeah, and be careful not to spell that wrong, especially on a work computer, because you will be in serious trouble.
Don't go to inappropriate.com.
All right, two things before we get out of here. Does this freak you out? A 26-year-old Maryland cop was just convicted of throwing smoke bombs and other things at police officers guarding the U.S. Capitol tunnel during the January 6 riots.
Okay, so here, according to Google, yes, French citizens can move to Canada through immigration programs like work permits, study permits, and permanent residency. In recent years, okay, no, hang on.
Yeah, okay, that's so they can move there. So what?
Hang on.
It doesn't make you a citizen of Canada.
I
Well,
can.
my nephew just became a citizen in Canada. In Canada because he's working there.
Good. Hope he fucking stays.
But you know, if you want to become a Canadian citizen, you have to either speak English or French.
okay.
You do. Like
Okay.
in America, you don't have to speak a language.
There's just lots of
Well,
rules.
can't you become a citizen of any country as long as you follow their procedures and live there for a
Well,
certain
yeah,
period
but
of time?
no. Yeah, I mean, but
Most countries.
I mean, it's probably more difficult in some.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some you don't want to.
Yeah.
well, if you
right.
don't speak English or French proficiently, you can't become a citizen in Canada. They make you take a test. But
What if you just wrote them a really large check?
It's a.
It's a really.
in his defense, sir, it was a really big check.
I don't speak the language,
well,
but
it says permanent residency, so I don't know. But anyway, Joel Embiid played for France, now the U.S. Now he wants to play for Canada.
Fucking let him go ahead. I don't give a
That's
shit.
how they. That's why Ted was saying it's ridiculous. The Olympics.
on a side note, this is the first time in baseball. I'm not even a big baseball follower. A guy in Major League Baseball played for both teams at the same time.
No,
We got
just
traded.
recently.
That happened in June.
No,
one
the
one game
same-
was in June and one game
No,
was
the same
just,
game. He played
I think
No,
it did
but
happen just recently,
just
last week.
just recently.
I think a
it
guy
was
got
a
traded.
delayed game.
Oh, 'cause it was
They
replayed.
canceled the game
And then they
in
replayed
June,
it,
and
yeah.
they replayed it 2 days ago.
Right, but they
Yeah.
said the guy was
It's
the
a
one guy.
technicality.
Okay,
It's a weird technicality.
He's been on
All right,
Boston for 2 months.
okay.
Can I ask you this question? Does it freak you out that a Maryland cop, was at the January 6 riots throwing shit at other cops?
No, it
Smoke
doesn't
bombs and
surprise
others?
me
There was
because
a couple different police
depends on his
officers.
political leanings, and his job description's irrelevant.
What is a leaning?
The political leanings, like you lean one way, you lean left, you lean right.
You're pro January 6th or you're anti January 6th.
Can you get dual
It's just a
citizenship
day.
in Kentucky and Illinois or no?
No.
If you're a citizen of Illinois, can you be
No,
a citizen
because-
of Kentucky?
No, because if you can actually speak and understand English, you wouldn't be in Kentucky. You just wouldn't go.
Okay, so Joel Embiid can't play for Kentucky.
He cannot play. Didn't
'Cause
he play
he's
at Kentucky?
very
I
smart.
don't remember who-
Wow,
Yeah.
don't go to Kentucky anytime soon.
So that doesn't freak you out that I didn't realize there were other cops.
The
that
whole
did this?
situation freaks me out. The whole January 6th freaks me out. Freaks me out that half this country doesn't think it was anything unusual when it was one of the greatest, like craziest, insane mistakes that ever happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a coup. It was like an attempted coup. It was like they tried to go there.
I don't know if they tried to coup. I think they were just a bunch
Well, they
of
went there to
dicks.
try and
It was symbolic, but
coerce politicians
Yeah, but-
into.
democracy was never threatened, like per se, where it was going to be, where
course
the
it-
country was going to fall into chaos. It's not like the Boston Tea
Yeah.
Party or the French
I mean,
Revolution.
Oh,
It
so
was
they
just
weren't
a
trying
bunch
to
of-
do that. They were just
I don't
trying to
think-
make it
no,
what it,
I don't
what it
think
was.
because there'd
That's
be
what-
martial law, right?
That
There-
was their intent.
Yeah.
They thought that they could. Nobody went there thinking this is
Okay.
We're not
so,
going to be able
so
to accomplish
if a
this
really
goal.
stupid person, if a really stupid
You didn't
person,
think they thought they could not accomplish what they went there for?
they were never going to accomplish that doing what they were doing.
That's not what I said. They thought that they could. They went there to sway politicians.
I mean, if I have a
Under-
tryout for the Chicago Cubs, because I think I'm going to be the next greatest player on the team, that doesn't mean it's necessarily possible.
But they
But you
went
believe
there.
it.
They went there to force our country.
They might have thought they could. but they would never
that's what I
gonna.
just- that's what I said.
I mean, let's be honest. If they had gotten a little bit farther, they probably all would have been murdered. Let's be 100% honest. They were probably only a few feet, a few minutes away from having hardcore people just
Well, I promise you,
wipe them out.
I promise
let's
you
be
that
honest.
if they got access to Pelosi, she would be dead. Vice President Mike Pence would be dead. I promise you. that.
I mean, it's possible. It was
I mean,
possible.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you
yeah,
think?
it was
Did
a
you
mob.
see
It
the
was a
video?
mob.
Do
Yeah, it
you
was a
think
mob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was
they
a
weren't
mob.
rational. They were out
They
of
were
their
not
gourds.
rational. It was not rational. But I mean, it wasn't going to change anything.
Right.
It was just going to be people that.
Correct.
There was going to be a lot of.
It would have
dead
been
people,
worse.
but a ton of dead
It would have
people.
made
my
it.
God.
It would have
But in
made.
terms of like a threat to the United States democracy, if that was the case, there'd be martial law. There'd be the National Guard in the street, like the zombie movies, and there'd be everything would be locked down. So it was just confined.
It
to
was
that
kind of
small-
like a zombie movie thing.
Yeah.
They were that. I mean,
Yeah.
they were just like brains, like Democrats.
And I'm going to tell you, I was watching it live. I mean, I was.
Oh, were you
texting
really?
back. Yeah, you didn't see it.
I did not.
Well, without going into detail,
There was
'cause
a good football game on,
Yeah,
and
we
I
don't want
was
to talk.
just-
We don't want to talk politics, but I'm curious to
What do you
see
mean we don't?
if Trump loses in November. I'm just curious to see like what they're going to say. Like, was it rigged again, or was it like what
You know he's going to say that. Come on.
or
Are you fucking kidding me?
Or even if the Republicans was, let's say he wins in November, or the Democrats are going to say, oh, he blocked people from voting, because that's like the opposite end of the argument. Like, oh,
No, they didn't.
You're
they'll
preventing
do
people.
what-
They
from
didn't do
voting.
that when he won.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
didn't do that when he won. No, it's Teddy. Listen, you can pretend all you want.
I'm not pretending. I'm just making.
Okay, you
I'm just
can
making a
you can
statement.
pretend all you want. There's a lack of rationality on one side. It's just a lack of rationality. I'm not saying it's not genuine, and I'm not saying they don't have points, but they lose some rationality. Right? When you say like when Rob Schneider gets online after RFK backed out.
Yeah,
And
he
told-
suspended his campaign and endorsed
yeah.
Trump.
So Rob Schneider said I want all my followers to go vote for Trump. Well, I just got one question for Rob Schneider. Who exactly does he think he is?
you can do it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
well,
I mean,
well,
you're
like
not even a B
No,
list.
but I'm
actor.
saying like most
Yes, he is.
celebrities.
B minus.
I'm just saying like
No,
most
he's-
celebrities
he's-
or people who think they're more important than they really are, because obviously whatever little bubble he lives in, he probably
It's a weird bubble.
Yeah, I'm saying, but there are a lot of people kind of like him, not even like kind of semi-famous people, just people who are like well-to-do, who surround themselves with yes people who think they're more important than they really are, because they just exist in a little ecosystem that they never leave.
Well, why can't he be any different than anyone else?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all know Rob Schneider, so
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just not famous.
I mean, you're the Rob Schneider of your home, right? You're in your home. You're the most important person in this home.
I'm the
And-
least important person
then
here.
when you walk out in the real world,
I'm actually. There's only 3 people that live here, and the dog, and I'm 5th most important. Yeah. Let's be
You're number
100%
5,
honest
I'm
with that.
number 5.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a dog.
Bob next door is
wife
more
and a
important.
son.
Bob next door is more important than him.
Yeah, he's got more skills than I do. He absolutely has more skills than I do.
that's why you got him on speed dial.
There's no doubt about it. All right, I'll give you guys 2 choices: Grateful Dead or roller coasters.
I thought you were gonna say end the show and go to the
roller,
bar.
roller coasters.
Roller coasters. All right, good.
What do you mean
'Cause-
Grateful Dead?
Oh, what do you mean Grateful Dead?
The
What do you
band?
mean by Grateful Dead? Yeah, okay.
I don't want to listen.
What do you mean by roller coasters?
No, we're not going to listen to any Grateful Dead. Nope. You pick Grateful Dead.
I'd rather ride a roller coaster.
Mark, your kids go to schools in Iowa, correct?
Correct.
So they do not. Neither one goes to Stanford.
My oldest goes to the Stanford of the Midwest.
The Stanford of the Midwest. Well, they did call Eastern. They did call it Eastern Illinois.
The butthole of the universities.
No, they called it the taint of the Midwest.
The UPenn of the Southern Illinois region.
The taint of Harvard of the Midwest.
I
All right.
spent a lot of time in Chucktown.
Oh, I loved it. It was a great time, and I learned something. I
Ted,
think.
the home of Jimmy John's.
C's get degrees too. Just remember that.
And, well, D's in
D's.
my case. All right. If you're headed to Stanford anytime soon, but starting this year, you can take a class called "The Music and Culture of the Grateful Dead," taught by a guitarist from the Grateful Dead, and I know any Grateful Dead head would know this. David Gans.
No, don't know.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I honestly, and we're probably gonna.
I just know Jerry Garcia, right? He's the
Yeah,
Grateful
he's
Dead.
he's long dead.
Yeah, that's the only guy I know.
But
so,
yeah, I honestly would tell you this. I think the Grateful Dead is possibly the most overrated band in the
Wait, I thought it was the
history
Eagles.
of all
What
music.
about the Eagles?
Oh, I hate the Eagles. The Eagles are the worst band. They're just a terrible band. That pussy music is the worst thing ever. But the Grateful Dead is possibly some of the worst shit I've ever heard, okay? But you can take an 8-week course. about the music and culture of the Grateful
And
Dead.
what's full tuition there at Stanford?
Probably a lot.
So University of Chicago is like $60,000 a year. So let's just assume it's on
No,
par with that.
no, it's way more than that.
80
Way more.
University of Chicago,
Than that. Yes.
65,000 a year.
No.
Are you just going to say numbers until he says yes? He doesn't know the exact number. He just knows it's more.
It's almost
It's
100,000.
just so dismissive. that-
100,000 a year?
University of Chicago.
God
It's one of the top
damn.
universities in the nation. It's like top 3. It's top 4.
I applied for the University of Chicago. I'm just kidding. I didn't
They
apply.
they fucking split the atom there. Created the atom bomb in the basement for crying out loud.
Wow, I did not.
You
I
think it's the
did not know
Oppenheimer movie or something?
Yeah.
that. Oh God, that movie was so long. Jesus Christ.
Like Dances with Wolves long? Or
So here's what I was thinking. I mean, obviously, if you take the music and culture of Grateful Dead, you have to be high when you get to class, right?
or just
Because
LSD, you know, I mean, that's cool.
you have to be on something. You're not gonna. I mean, you're not gonna be able to sit through that
No.
not wasted.
No.
Not and alcohol is not good enough.
They probably encourage that.
Yeah. So, Mark, this is what I was thinking. What if in the future, and this would be pretty cool, at Stanford?
Wait, Ted was right.
What?
65,000.
Damn it! Don't. You have to stop doing that. Every time you tell him he's right, it just builds the persona more. You know that, right?
Dude, I'm just freaking out because I'm paying tuition somewhere else and it's not too far off.
Yeah.
That's why I was arguing with
I mean,
We're
U
gonna-
of I was like 40 G's.
Look, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna peel away the Iowa Hawkeye logo and put on.
Did you get me a sticker, by the way?
No, we didn't. I didn't make it to the bookstore.
You're dead to me.
I know. I'm going back in 2 weeks. So
Okay.
Can you
I
give
will
me-
definitely go back. I'm going to the bookstore in 2 weeks.
Can you get me some sweatpants? And a sweatshirt? I'll pay you for it. And a sticker.
Medium slim cut.
Oh God! And make sure you get him. If you get him sweatpants, make sure that they got the little bungees at the bottom, so they're real sweatpants,
Oh,
not
and he
not
wants
the straight
green. He wants green.
Yeah.
He wants green ones.
green
Whatever,
Iowa
whatever,
Hawkeye.
whatever the school color, but not yellow, if that's possible. So
Mark this down.
Is yellow or black?
Yellow sweatpants.
Extra tight, extra small.
You know, I'm gonna get you one of those overalls with the black and yellow stripes.
Oh my God, those are
Him
so...
for every school, don't they?
When we were at the Big Ten championship in Iowa, I mean, every school had it, but when Iowa got there, I think it was 1 year they got there. There were so many people wearing those things. They
Oh,
really
U of
were.
I's playing Iowa on Friday.
Are they really? U of I's supposed to be good.
No, University. No, not U of I. I'm sorry. ISU,
Iowa's playing ISU.
Illinois State.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first day.
well, that's cool. I mean, Iowa had the worst offense out of all college football.
But they also
So-
have one of the best defenses, and now they're ranked 25 in the preseason.
I bet you $1,000 that they're nowhere near that.
But they're playing Illinois State in the first game.
Yeah. Okay. A 70-10 blowout of Illinois State. Then they'll play their first actual team and lose 45-6. It's what they do all the time.
No, because the second game they're playing some university I never even heard of.
That's the name of it. University I've never heard.
It's I never
it's
heard
a small
of
school called Alabama.
this. No, they're second. You know,
Alabama
the first,
A&M.
what is it, man?
Tech,
You know, college football.
West.
College football.
agricultural.
Their first like 2 to 3 games are all blow-off games, right?
Not as much anymore. Not as much because they got a lot of games. But okay, get back to the Grateful Dead. This is what I was thinking. What if in 10 or 20 years we became so popular that Ted got to teach the real. You ready? This is the name of this. This is the name of the class. The real 3 idiots taught by Ted, and he will teach all the things that he remembers from the shows that we've done.
What do you have to say? What could he?
No, everything he remembers from the shows. So it'll be one class, 15 minutes, done.
Assuming.
Let's assume.
Yeah, no.
It's called.
Section. What? No, the first thing is assuming. Okay.
Wait, these shows are taped, right? Couldn't I just put the computer in the room and just press the button? Like, here's episode 1. I'll be back in
You
an
have
hour
to
and a
find
half.
it. Ted, where is our show available? No, honestly, where's our show available?
Everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
Apple, Spotify, YouTube,
Audible.
Google, Audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Google the real
YouTube,
3 idiots. Yeah.
iTunes, everything.
iTunes.
Yeah, YouTube, everything. Everywhere.
We're worldwide.
Where are the places you've listened to it?
Prestige worldwide.
Boats and hoes.
Who's driving this boat?
Oh my God.
Oh, man. If Ted, this is my goal. I want to keep this going long enough that people will have a class and that you're going to teach it. Because they'll come to me and I'll be like, fuck you, I'm too good for this. But you won't be.
No.
You won't be. You will be the perfect guy.
No
Then
pride.
You could shitbag. You know, when my idea was to start the show, he's like, Ted, you started the show? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, it was my idea for Ted's tips. Yep, it was my idea for Mark's movie mentions.
And I wrote
That
every
guy-
goddamn song.
Yeah. I wrote all the songs, and Mark never knew anything about movies. Yeah, so I had to, I
carried-
slip in the papers.
I
You
carried
can't
these
even spell.
I carried
movie
these two
mentions.
guys for weeks on end, and that's why my back hurts so much.
He teaches a class with a southern accent too. He can't even spell movie mentions.
That's not a southern accent, Mark. That's a Deliverance accent.
The northern. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Northern rapist.
That's about your disappearing the Appalachians accent.
All right, we got to put this thing to bed. Oh man, you guys are killing me. Mark, you get to go first. We're gonna let Ted stew a little bit.
Let's, take Ted with a grain of salt, or in this case, a grain of MSG, according to him. I would, if Ted was edible, I'd fill him with hot sauce and MSG. And cook
Ranch
him up.
dressing.
Ranch dressing. Yeah,
Because I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat Ted and ranch dressing. Honestly, fried ranch dressing. I don't care what anybody says.
I do like it on pizza these days, though. I'm not
that's
gonna lie.
just- that's
I
the
like
most
I like
disgusting
just
thing. I
dipping
can't-
it in pizza.
I hate that. It's a thing now.
Domino's.
There's a
ranch
place
dressing?
called Pizza Ranch. They're popping up all over the country.
Well, and
Wait,
there's a
and that's
reason for
pizza
that.
with ranch?
There's a
It's
reason.
called- I
for
don't
that.
know. It's called Pizza Ranch, and their
I
logo.
don't think that's a thing. I don't think it's ranch dressing.
Why? I know
I
it's
think
not.
it's like a ranch, like a hillbilly ranch.
I know, but
thing.
they're just putting pizza and ranch together, and the logo is like a chuck wagon.
Yeah, because it's a ranch. It's like a Western ranch. It doesn't have to
Who
do
do-
with ranch
Does
dressing.
that make you hungry seeing a chuck wagon?
Actually, it does kind of.
You know what it
You wanna
reminds me of?
eat off a fucking back of a chuck
it re-
wagon from the 1800s.
It reminds me of that the dog. Didn't the dog chase a chuck wagon?
That was
Wasn't that a dog food commercial? The chuck wagon was
Yeah,
the
but
chuck
the
wagon
dog.
dog food?
I mean, but it had to
Yes.
be good. The dog chased the chuck wagon. It was
Yeah.
going to kill it.
yeah.
It always
I
got
just
away.
think a cookie from City Slickers. It's brown, hot, and plenty of it.
I like that concept. All right, Teddy, you can do your last thought.
And we're out of time.
I'm. My advice is get an air fryer. You know, when all else fails, just go get a Ninja, get an Emeril air fryer for those cooking challenged. For us less talented chefs out there.
Every microwave
Sorry.
is basically an air fryer, a convection oven. It's just convection. You could use a microwave.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to go no on that.
Why?
It doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't crisp it up. It basically makes everything soggier.
If you use microwave,
Yeah.
if you use the convection
But-
feature of your microwave oven,
My-
which you have, I'll go upstairs and show it to you.
There's a convection feature on a microwave.
Yes.
Okay,
every,
you know
every
what?
microwave turns into an oven.
Okay, you know what? We're going to do this.
Okay.
I want you to show me how my shitty $80 microwave turns into a convection oven.
Oh, you have a shitty one. Okay.
What, I have a $900 microwave? What am I, a Rothschild? Yeah. A Vanderbilt, sir?
A Pritzker?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the DNC was funny. So Bernie Sanders, real quick, Bernie Sanders gets up there and talks about how much he hates billionaires. And the next guy speaking is J.B. Pritzker, who actually is a billionaire. So,
I hate billionaires, too. They
Yeah.
don't give me a...
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to shout out to Pritzker right now. We should get some money from you.
yeah.
Just because I'm who I am and I want your money.
But I'm just, it's funny that no one saw the irony of that. So it's
I think everybody-
I hate billionaires, and then there's a billionaire who's following who we just introduced as well. So
But you're okay, JB.
yeah, except just those billionaires. You're our billionaire.
Oh, it looks
You're-
good on you, though.
You're our billionaire.
Looks good on you, though.
No, what do you say? No, you're one of the good ones.
Yeah,
You're one of the good
Elon
ones.
Musk, bad
That's-
billionaire.
that's-
J.B. Pritzker, good billionaire.
Yeah, we all know where that comes from, right? You're one of the good ones, though. Yeah. Don't worry about you. All right. You know what? Here's where I'm going to leave you. Ted's answer is not the correct answer. An air fryer doesn't make you a good cook. Okay. Get some lessons. I know Ted doesn't believe in this, but Barry does. I think Barry was a genius. I really do. I thought that was a really nice thing to do to make things better. I mean, because he probably dropped hints.
And then he made it worse.
Yeah, but because he probably dropped hints, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, this tastes like, because you can just overcook things. It's not have to
Yeah,
do with seasoning.
sure.
You'd be like, oh, this tastes like this waffle tastes like a piece of leather.
Right.
Right?
But I'm
Little
saying,
things like that.
doesn't the air fryer kind of not guarantee, but it gives more of a chance to just cook everything evenly because of the way the heat's distributed. That's the whole point.
What do you think it is? How do you think it cooks food?
You're not cooking on a hot plate.
No, but what do you think it does?
I'm not sure
It's
the
just
mechanism.
it's just a tabletop convection oven.
right.
Yeah, so it's
That
not
works
really
like
a-
magic.
It's
but
not.
like
No,
magic.
it's not. It's not really a fryer. It's not really a fryer. It's just convection heat.
Yeah.
that you
Right,
plug
and they
into the
say
wall.
it because it can make things crunchy like a frying
like an
does.
oven
like
does.
a broasted
like an
piece of
oven
chicken.
does.
Yeah.
But
like an oven does.
but different. I would tell you right now the French fries taste better in an air fryer.
Oh my god.
They taste better in an air fryer. They're crispier. They're more like restaurant French fries in an air fryer. I'm telling you right now. That's what whether it's real or not. I will tell you that's what I think.
I'm just going by the infomercial. So when they say they
Yeah,
put in
'cause you don't cook
food
shit.
and they got a chicken in there or something, and it seems like it comes out pretty good. I know it's commercial, but they do seem
not
like it's
new.
more. It's
Like,
more.
Ted,
idiot,
tell
it's
us
more
about
idiot-proof.
brain surgery. Air fryers. Air fryers. Yeah, put your brain in an air
Those
fryer.
ninja
you're out.
blenders aren't really ninjas. They're just called ninja.
So it was not made.
No, it's not made by a ninja.
It was not made by a ninja.
in Japan.
Motherfucker. I lost another $10 bet. That sucks. All right. Listen, keep liking us. Keep listening. Hit us up on TikTok. Hit us up on Instagram. We are not on X. We are on Facebook. So if you see something you like, let us know. Keep sending in those tips and the tall tales, because sooner or later, and I know some of these I hit, many months after, and I apologize. There's a lot of stuff there, and sometimes, when I'm drunk, I skip over things. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm drunk a lot.
And I have an air fryer.
So, yeah, we all
It's
have.
called
our
it's not really. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God! All right, listen, we got to put this to bed before
No,
we
it's
have
called
an
a
air fryer
toaster
fight.
oven. I have a toaster oven.
Oh my God!
Also known as a convection oven, Mark.
This,
Here,
this
if
is
you
going
listen,
too long. The
if you
show's
listen
going too long.
all the way to the end, please send us the difference between air fryers, convection ovens, regular ovens, and microwaves. And you know what? I will read your shit on the air, and I don't care how long it
It
takes.
tastes better in a toaster oven.
Oh, man.
Because this ending's taking forever right now.
We'll see everybody next week.